This event is brought to you by the class of HRD Night 11. This event is not possible without our generous sponsors, Kainan ni Consi, Das Marinas. Class of MEC Night Students. Honorable Captain Rodel C. Mercado. Honorable Paul John Lara. Miss Anna Marie C. Macainag. Coach Ryan's Don Pacundo Sportswear. And Pound for Pound Fitness Das Marinas by Boss Marlon Santos. Good afternoon, everyone. The event will start in a few minutes. Before the webinar starts, we want to remind everyone of the following. Please observe proper decorum while the webinar is ongoing. Please keep your microphones muted unless otherwise asked to unmute. Night 11 online marshals and usherettes are present during the webinar. While you have any questions and concerns, please direct it to our marshals and usherettes. Answer the attendance form that is posted in the comment section or scan the QR code that is flashed on your screen. And lastly, all are encouraged to participate during the webinar. We encourage everyone to send their reactions, questions, and takeaways in the message section.
Now, may I ask everyone to have a moment of silence for our opening prayer, to be led to us by Ms. Sheila Evangelista, and to be followed by the singing of our national anthem.
Let us remember that we are in the most holy presence of God. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Dear Heavenly Father, we glorify and thank you. You have provided us with so much blessings, and your presence always reminds us of your faithfulness and guidance. We humbly ask you to bless our speakers today of your greatest inspiration, so that they may share the most of their knowledge, heart, and soul to their respective topics. May we also absorb the invaluable knowledge and experiences and put it into practice. We pray that you bless all the committees in charge, that they may be able to fulfill their tasks responsibly, and the objectives they have set may all be achieved. Your presence in this activity would mean the success of the seminar. Let us witness your genuine love through the enactment of the knowledge acquired through this activity. All of this we ask through Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior. Amen.
Saint John Baptist de la Salle,
Pray for us
keep Jesus in our hearts
forever.
Sa
Good afternoon, everyone, to our guest speakers, to our dear professor, to our visitors, HRD 31, and also to our dear classmates 911. This is the day. Welcome to HRZ, the power of HR in the modern era.
Don't forget to flood our comment section with the hashtags. Hashtag HR Power, hashtag HR 2022.
First, let me introduce myself. I am Isa Candelaria, your gorgeous host for today. And here is my beautiful partner.
Thank you, partner. And I am Maria Margarita Jimenez, one of your hosts for today's webinar training. Please feel at home during this webinar.
Again, guys, a gentle reminder to everyone, kindly answer the attendance form that is posted in the Zoom message section to confirm your presence in the webinar.
Or you may scan the QR code that is flashed on your screen.
And before we really commence the program, may we call on the class vice president, Ms. Jan Crystal Almasan, to open our event with her opening remarks.
Hello everyone, I hope you're all doing well. It's a great pleasure for me to welcome all of you. Thank you for taking the time to join us today. It's an honor for us to have such great and truly inspiring speakers. Our guests will train us about the recruitment process and the role of HR in the new normal. So in behalf of our class, I would like to welcome you all to our webinar, HRZ, the power of HR in the modern era.
Thank you, Ms. Almasan, for those wonderful opening remarks as we all welcome everyone tonight. I think everyone is excited to start this webinar, diba, partner?
Yes, you're right, partner. I am also truly excited for tonight's webinar. But before that, let's do a shout out first. Let's proceed to our comment section.
Sige, partner. Pangunahan mo na, partner.
Okay, special thanks to PM Sock for the Zoom link. Maraming salamat po.
Ayan. So, sabi ni Romel Canimo, eto na talaga, nagsisimula na. And sabi niya, pa-shoutout po mga magagandang host. So ayun na nga, shoutout sa'yo, Romel.
Grabe
Canimo.
naman yan. Ayan, ang daming nag-hashtag HR 2022, hashtag HR Power. Sobrang excited na sila, partner. Sobrang sabi na.
Oh my God, ang bilis gumalaw ng comment sections natin, partner.
Talaga naman.
From Miss Ira Santiago, sabi niya, good afternoon po. From HRD 31.
Ayan, sabi naman ni Dan Mercado, ang fresh ni Aiza. Hashtag HR 2022, hashtag HR Power. Thank you, Dan!
Paano ba kasi maging fresh, partner?
Kasi
paturo naman ng secret.
Sobrang excited ako for tonight's webinar, partner.
Well, eto nga, galing pa rin sa HRD 31 from Joanna Manya Musa. Sabi niya, very excited for this event. Let's go, HRD Night 11. So, thank you po.
Ayan, from Joy Demilia naman, sabi niya, shout out, Happy New Year and stay safe everyone.
Yes.
Ayan.
And eto naman, from HRD 31, from Josephine Villarreal. Sabi niya, shout out sa HRD 31. Hashtag HR 2022. Hashtag HR Power. Wow naman.
Ayan, sobrang dami at hindi na natin mabilang, partner.
Yes, ang bilis gumalaw ng comment sections and ang hype talaga nila, partner, in fairness.
Grabe talaga yung mga participants natin for tonight's webinar, partner.
I feel you, partner. So, we're very excited to introduce to you our first speaker. Makaka-relate and mas magiging interested ang lahat na mga mahihilig mag-TikTok like us, partner. So, she was a graduate of Bachelor of Science in Colegio de San Juan de Letran, Calamba. She has been working in the field of human resource and sales and marketing department for 8 years in varying industries such as manufacturing, real estate, and recruitment firms. Received her certification of human resource management specialization at the University of Minnesota, Minneapolis, USA. She was awarded as Employee of the Year 2020-2021 and received some leadership awards from her previous employment. Currently working as Human Resource Manager in an US-based company, Fort Lauderdale, Florida, USA. A content creator, influencer, and motivational speaker on social media and TikTok with more than 150,000 followers. So without further ado, let's all welcome Miss Tessa Mercado.
Hi guys! Okay, sige, sasabayan ko yung energy nyo. Hello!
Oh my God! Hello,
Tessa, kamusta po kayo ngayon?
Oh my God, I'm so overwhelmed sa mga chat, nakakatuwa. And guys, nababasa ko yung comment nyo, okay? So, yeah. So, sana marami kayong matutunan this afternoon. Okay, actually magagabi na. So, yeah. I think I have to share my screen para at least marami tayong matutunan. Alright? Alright.
Yes,
Oh.
ma'am.
Oh, yeah. Can you see my screen? Everybody?
Yes, Miss
Yes,
Tessa.
Miss Tessa.
Alright, let's go. Yeah, kung gaano kayo ka-energy or mataas ang energy sa chat, sana ganun din kayo during the webinar. Alright? Okay, so before anything else, maraming salamat pala sa opportunity nang magbigay ng expertise. Actually, this is the first time, you are the second school sa mag-webinar ngayong 2022. And I'm very glad talaga. Alright, so the name of the webinar is The Power of HR in a Modern Era. Alright, actually, the name of my presentation is Your Decision Matters. Bakit nga ba importante yung desisyon mo sa buhay sa pagiging HR? Lahat ba tayo ay HR dito? Or halo-halo?
Yes po, ma'am.
Lahat HR, pero hindi kayo magkaka-year. Tama? If I'm not mistaken.
Yes po, ma'am.
Lahat ay first year, second year, tama ba?
Third year and fourth year po.
Third year of it. Alright. So ngayon, konting kembot na lang is, mag-graduate na kayo. Alright. So ngayon, ang presentation overview ko, ito yung pag-uusapan natin, guys, is the true meaning of career. Ngayon, kailangan muna nating malaman ano nga ba yung totoong meaning ng career? How to format a fresher's resume? Ano nga ba yung mga steps to recruitment process? How to stand out in an interview? Tips to improve interview performance and things to expect on your first job. Ngayon guys, sa totoo lang, bias ko. Sa lahat ng facet ng HR, bias ko po ang recruitment. Bakit? Sa totoo lang, mas masarap magtrabaho sa recruitment. Bakit? Ikaw yung magiging frontliner ng HR kung totoosin. Diba? Ikaw yung makikita ng mga aplikante. Ikaw yung, parang frontliner ka ng HR. Kasi yung sa payroll, doon lang sila. It's internal lang yung customer nila. Mga employee relations, mga customer din nila is yung mga employee. So, ikaw yung mas exposed. Okay? Hindi ko sasabing sa COVID, pero ang ibig sabihin, mas exposed ka sa tao. Alright? So, okay, have you ever asked yourself what particular job or career path you will take in the future? This is like 2 questions lang, guys. Gusto kong makita yung mga comment section nyo. O I mean, yung comment nyo dun sa chat box. Have you ever asked yourself? Meron ka naman kasi talaga, okay, HR ako ngayon. In the near future ba, HR pa rin ang gusto mo? O baka gusto mo maging doktor? O gusto mo mag-law? Ano pa ba? Gusto mong maging online seller? Bakit din na, di ba? And, or you feel stuck making decision, what career path you're going to pursue? Ang ibig mong sabihin ay, okay, sige, ma, gusto ko HR talaga. Hindi ma, gusto ko sa tourism talaga ako. Hindi, kaso HR yung kinuha ko. Paano ako mapupunta sa industry ng tourism? Something like that. Okay, sabi niyo Aling Marites, hindi. Neng mag-HR ka, magandang trabaho yan pagkatapos ng pagkatapos ng college mo, ang laki ng sweldo mo. Okay, ganyan-ganyan. Okay, so if yes, Okay? If yes, let me talk to you about the real definition. O, sabi ni Romel, dati gusto kong maging pulis ngayon. Ngayon, HR na ang gusto mong i-pursue. O, di ba? Being HR, di ba? Okay, if yes, let me talk to you about the real definition. Ano nga ba yung totoong definition sa inyo? Okay? Akala nyo ang definition ng career is mataas ang sahod, mataas ang posisyon. No. Ito yung totoong meaning ng career. Okay. We have two definition. Focus muna tayo sa number one. Okay. A person scores or progress to life. Ano ibig sabihin nito? This is more on personal touch. Okay. So, ikaw yan. Sarili mo yan. On definition number two, it also pertains to his or occupational that wish to involve special training. Ito yung ginagawa nyo ngayon. Nagkakaroon kayo ng webinar, nag-invite kayo ng mga resource speaker, and ngayon, definition number one. Being an online seller, do you think it's a career? Sabi po kasi ni Ms. Tessa sa presentation, oo, career daw po siya. Okay, explain ko. Dito sa Pilipinas, usong-uso yung ukay-ukay. Kung sino mang bumibili sa inyo ng ukay-ukay. Di ba, meron yung bulto. Okay? Doon sa bultong yon, guys, pag kinat mo yung bulto, marami siyang damit. Okay? Damit, may sira, minsan may plancha, something like that, di ba? Pag pinost mo yan sa social media, walang bibili niyan. Di ba? Ang gagawin mo, i-photoshoot mo yan, lalabhan mo yan, paplantsahin mo pa yan, saka yan makakabenta kasi maa-appreciate ng seller or ng buyer kasi maganda yung damit. Bakit siya nagiging career? You exceed time and effort. Okay? Hindi ka pwedeng magkakaroon ng, congrats kay Girly and kay Anna Grace, di ba? Proud silang online seller sila. Okay? Hindi ganun kadali, guys. Minsan may mga point of view na, oh my God, ayoko nang magbenta kasi wala namang bumibili. Tama? May mga ganung point. Okay, being a content creator. First hand ako, guys, hindi ako everyday nag-upload. But everyday ako nagsusulat kung ano bang content ang kailangan ko. Anong kailangan nyo na mga online estudyante? Anong kailangan ng mga online seller? Anong kailangan ng mga young professional? Kasi sila yung market ko kung tutuusin. Okay, bakit siya nagiging career? I exceed time and effort as well. And lastly, this is the true meaning of career, guys. Okay? Akala nyo yun nga, more on money, more on position. Ito ang totoong definition, being yourself. Tanungin mo na sarili mo, ano ba talagang gusto mo? Guys, sa totoo lang, masarap magkaroon o masarap i-pursue ang isang bagay na gusto mo. Mas masarap i-pursue kapag yung job satisfaction mo kasi is 100% kaysa naman napilitan ka lang. 'Di ba? Minsan may mga bagay talaga sa buhay natin na may magdidikta pero hindi kasi talaga 'yun yung gusto natin. 'Di ba? Iba yung fulfillment, iba yung ibinibigay niyang saya, 'di ba? So, 'yun yung totoong career. Being yourself. Ask yourself after this webinar, ano ba talagang gusto ko? Ipo-pursue ko ba ang HR after this o baka napilitan lang ako? Okay? So, ngayon, being yourself, help to decide what career path you will take in the future. And that's real talk, guys, di ba? Ngayon, okay, kung na-decision mo na talaga, okay, napag-decision mo na, sige, AHR ako. Ngayon, as an HR, dapat marunong ka muna magsulat ng resume. Okay? Hindi ka pwede maging HR na hindi ka mismo, ikaw personally, hindi ka marunong sulat ng resume or CV. Okay, guys, add ko lang, ano bang pinagkaiba ng CV and resume? Okay, this is the simplest answer. Ang CV po ay ibig sabihin curriculum vitae or course of life. Ang ibig sabihin nilon, kung ako ay nagtatrabaho na for 9 years or 8 to 9 years, lahat ng experiences ko, lahat ng trabaho ko, CV ang gagamitin ko. Bakit? Lahat ng mga course or basta lahat ng ginawa ko sa buhay ko ay nasa CV. Okay? Aabot yan ng 5 pages, 6 pages, 10, bahala ka. Ganon. Ngayon, ang resume po, ang ibig sabihin yan is, ito yung nako-customize. Okay? Kayo mga fresher, kayo yung mga bagong graduate, ito lang yung resume muna yung gagamitin nyo kasi wala pa po kayong professional experience. Resume, ibig sabihin, ito yung nako-customize. For example, ako HR. Ang gusto kong applyan is, for example, sa HR. So, lahat lang ng related sa HR. For example, gusto ko mag-apply sa hotel. Lahat po ng mga skills, lahat ng experience mo ay tungkol lang sa hotel. Hindi ka pwedeng maglagay na maging HR ka. Hindi ka pwedeng maglagay na nagtrabaho ka sa ganito, nagtrabaho ka sa ganyan. Dapat related lang siya sa hotel. Something like that. Okay? Yun yung naka-customize. So that's the only difference ng talaga ng CV and resume. Okay? Para at least hindi kayo nagkukulahan. Okay. Ngayon, tuturuan ko kayo paano nga ba mag-format ng resume. Okay. Number one, you always have to read the job description. Guys, hindi ka pwedeng maggawa ng isang resume na hindi ka nag-read ng job description. Bakit? Doon mo pwedeng sa job description na yon, doon mo ilalagay yung mga keywords na nakikita mo. For example, ako yung HR, makikita ko, okay, hiring, HR assistant, team player, attention to details, knows how to operate computers, medyo expert sa Excel, something like that. Ngayon, bakit ko kailangan mo i-read? Doon pa lang sa pag-read mo ng job description, malalaman mo na suitable ka ba? Okay? Fit ba sa'yo yung trabahong yun? Baka mamaya hindi ka team player. Baka mamaya hindi ka organized. Hindi ka masyadong attention to details. Ngayon, doon pa lang, alam mo na kung ayun nga, para sa'yo yung trabaho na yon. Okay, kung kaya mo ba yun, something like that. Okay, number 2, you have to include your contact information. Guys, alisin nyo na, as a fresher kasi ang dami ko nakikita, parents name, occupation ng parents, height and weight, guys, alisin nyo na po yun. Hindi na siya nilalagay sa isang resume. Ano ba inilalagay sa resume? Your name, your address, okay, your phone number, and your email. Kung meron kang social media, for example, LinkedIn, okay, kung meron kang social media, you have your personal branding, you have your own website, you can do that. Okay, ilagay mo lang siya doon. Yung mga career objectives, alisin mo na rin siya. Okay, hindi na rin kasi siya binabasa ng mga HR. Sa panahon ngayon, guys, yung modern world, mabilis. Fast-facing na po ngayon. Okay? Kulang, minsan sa sobrang fast-facing ng mundo, kulang pa yung mga manpower. Okay? Minsan, sa modern, sa HR kasi ngayon, dapat minsan, 'di ba nga, maraming unemployed, okay? Minsan ang isang posisyon, minsan hundreds of applicants 'yan. So hindi na namin para basahin lahat pati objective mo sa buhay. Okay? Kasi alisin mo siya, character reference, alisin niyo na rin siya. Bakit? Hinihingi siya ng HR separately. Okay, kung nakapasa ka at nakita nila, okay, goods ka sa isang interview, yung character reference, hihingiin yan separately. Okay, may mga application form din, nilalagay din siya doon. So, magiging redundant siya. Okay, sayang kasi yung space. Okay, pwede ka maglagay ng iba pang item sa resume. Alright? So number 3, you have to choose the skills you want. Ano bang ibig sabihin nito? We have 2 skills, guys. We have the hard skill and the soft skills. When we say hard skill, ito yung natututunan natin sa school. Natututunan nyo sa isang subject, natututunan nyo sa isang organization. Okay, for example, expert ka sa Excel, expert ka sa PowerPoint, expert ka sa mga Microsoft Office application. Magaling ka sa Photoshop. Okay, may mga software. Yan. So ano ba yung soft skills? Ito yung natututunan mo sa ibang tao o yung mga interpersonal relationship. Anong pinaka-common? It's the communication skills. Paano ka ba nakikipag-usap? Bastos ka ba kausap? Are you fluent in English? Magaling ka ba makisama sa ibang tao? So ganun yung mga skills na pwede mong ilagay. Okay? Minsan pwedeng hindi related sa pagiging HR. For example, magaling ka sa Photoshop, magaling ka sa Canva, magaling ka sa social media. Di ba? Yung mga pasikot-sikot ng social media, marunong ka, pwede mo din siya ilagay doon. Alright? So additional, additional na rin, parang credential for you. Alright? Number 4, you always highlight the educational, the training, and the certificate. Okay? Technical license. Okay? Kung, for example, sa psych kasi, di ba, may board exam tayo. May board exam ang psych, so psychometrician, pwede mo ilagay yon. For example, kumuha ka ng license ng mga sa teachers, 'di ba? License pwede o kung ano mang license na pwede mong kunin, okay, na kahit hindi related sa pagiging HR. Pwede mo siyang ilagay kasi nga credential mo 'yon. College degree and your course, ano bang natapos mo, and any honors. Kung meron ka sa organization, leadership training, what else? from your organization, kung nag-yearly awarding kayo, pwede mo rin siyang ilagay. Okay? So, from the school itself, baka meron kayong galing talaga sa school or sa admin, pwede mo rin siyang ilagay. Alright. So, number 5, you have to include your relevant experience. Guys, we have to experience, ha? We have the educational, which is yun nga, yung mga sa organization, sa clubs, ayan. Sa school lang, and we have the professional. Ito nga yung talaga nagtrabaho ka. Kung nag-part-time ka, okay, pwede mo rin siyang ilagay. If you have intern o mga internship, OJT, saan ka nag-OJT? Nag-volunteer works ka ba? For example, sa Red Cross, okay, sa Lasal ba, baka meron kayong during weekends, tumutulong kayo sa mga less fortunate. Ayan. So, isang organization ba, meron kayo anong klaseng work or mga volunteer works, pwede mo rin siyang ilagay. Okay? Credential mo yun as a fresher. Okay? Educational background. And yun nga, yung mga course, online courses, mga webinars, pwede mo siyang ilagay. Okay? So, before, ako, Psychological Function Society yung name ng organization ko sa college. From 2010 to 2011, naging org vice president ako, and the rest of the year, naging class president ako. Class representative. And yung national organization naman namin is PAPJA. Okay? So, organizational member ako all throughout my college days. Okay, 29 to 2013. Ayan, alam nyo na yung age ko. Okay, makikita nun na siya. Anyway, so yun lang yung mga kailangan nyong ilagay sa resume. Okay, additional tip guys. Okay. Include your interests and hobbies. Okay? Yun yung lagi kong sinasabi. Kahit hindi medyo related sa HR, pwede mo siyang ilagay. Bakit? Ang HR kasi very flexible yan. Guys, hindi ka lang HR. Okay? Minsan event planner ka pa. Okay? Minsan nanay ka. Minsan attorney ka. Halos lahat ng trabaho o lahat, minsan nga, wala na nga sa job description mo. Kung tutuusin, pwede mo na rin siyang gawin eh. Okay? So, yung interest and hobbies, for example, yung ngayon lagi ko sinasabi, kung magaling ka magluto, okay, magaling kang nag-online business ka, sa baking, what else? Yun nga, sa social media, sa photography, videography, yan, pwede mo siyang ilagay. Bakit? For example, meron kayong event or team building, halimbawa sasabihin ni, oy, si Sang, magaling yan, nakita ko sa resume niya, magaling yan sa social media, magaling yan sa posting ng mga design. Baka pwede naman siya na lang yung mag-layout sa team building natin. Diba? So, nagamit mo na yung hobbies mo, yung interest mo, nagtatrabaho ka pa as an HR. So, you're hitting two birds in one stone. Diba? Ganun lang din siya kung bakit kailangan siya. For example, sa skills mo, halimbawa, magaling ka mag-Korean. For example, may mga Koreano kayong bisita. No? Pwede kang ikaw yung interpreter. So, ganun lang. Kumbaga, everything ng lahat sa'yo. Okay? Lahat ng tungkol sa'yo, pwede mo din siyang ilagay doon. Alright? Keep your resume to 1 page. Okay, as a fresher, wala ka nga masyado pang mailalagay. So, keep it to 1 page. Always make sure na wala kang misspelled words. Okay, yung mga spacing. Okay? So, make sure na direct and simple. Okay, huwag masyadong palabok. Baka na may lagay mo pa yung mga spelling bee. Huwag mo na masyadong ilagay yun. Okay, ito pang high school and pang LM na yun. So, aalisin mo na rin siya. Alright? So, highlight your willingness to learn. Okay? As a fresher, guys, wala ka pang masyadong experience. So, minsan yung mga job description mo, minsan wala na doon. Okay? May mga magagawin ka as an HR na minsan wala ka pa sa job description. As a fresher, dapat willing ka to learn. For example, sasabihin nila, okay, do you have experience in HRIS? Okay, HRIS ay yung application na ginagamit sa HR. Yan yung pinaka-common na software na ginagamit natin. Wala ka pang experience. So, lagi mo sasabihin sa mga employer mo, yes, I don't have any experience, ma'am, but I'm always willing to learn. Okay? So, kapag nag-gain mo na yung experience mo na magaling ka na sa HRS, credential mo na yun, mailalagay mo na siya sa resume. Okay? Kung nag-apply ka sa other company, o makikita, nag-HRIS ka pala, okay, goods yan, bonus points yan, ganda points yan, pogi points yan. So ayun. So, sana may natutunan kayo sa pag-format ng isang resume. Okay, ngayon, ang resume, guys, kapag pinasa mo yan, pakahaba ng pinagdadaanan. Kaya yung mga, minsan, kung makikita mo yung mga comment section ko sa HR, sa TikTok, ang tagal naman ng wala pong nag-update sa akin. 2 weeks na, 3 weeks na ngayon, especially ngayong pandemic, guys, di ba? Minsan nalilay off, especially yung mga HR. minsan 2, 3 ang trabaho niyan. Okay? Hindi lang iisa. Okay? Minsan nga dahil na layoff nga or natanggal, nag-resign. O yung trabaho ko, pwedeng 2 pang 3 tao. Okay? Bakit? Kaya ang pinakamahirap nga dyan is recruitment. Bakit nga? At the same time, frontliner ka. At the same time, dahil nga kailangan mong palitan yung mga nag-resign, kailangan mong palitan yung mga na-layoff. Okay? So, ano nga ba yung pinagdadaanan ng isang resume? Okay, yung papel na yun, halos umiikot yan. Okay, ngayon, bibigyan ko kayo, ano nga ba yung mga recruitment process? Guys, hindi pare-pareho ang recruitment process ng isang kumpanya. Pero this is like a general idea lang. Okay, you have to identify the needs. Ano bang kailangan ng isang kumpanya? Okay? For example, ang HR po ay hindi lang HR ang department ng hinahire nila. May engineering, may accounting, o kung ano man, procurement, okay? Marami. Lahat ng department sa loob ng kumpanya ay hawak po ng HR. Okay? Hindi, akala mo lang HR is HR. No, hindi po. Hanggang kahit sa upper management, hanggang sa CEO ay hawak pa rin ng HR. Okay, bakit? Ano nga ba na-identify? O i-identify ano bang kailangan, anong kailangan palitan, nagiging redundant na ba? Okay, for example, may recruitment na, meron pang sourcing, so medyo baka nagiging redundant na yung isang posisyon, pwede nyo silang pag-isahin, tatanggalin yung isa. Okay? Ganon din. O pag kulang naman ang department o kulang ang tao sa isang department, papalitan mo naman yan. So yun nga, identify the needs. Ang process niyan is merong form ang HR na tinatawag tayong for the recruitment form, okay, a personal form. And then ngayon, sasagutan yan. Sasagutan ng kung sino mang department ang kailangan, and then ilalagay doon yung mga job description. For example, okay, kailangan namin ng 1 to 2 years of experience. For example, sa engineering, CAD operator. Okay? So yung CAD operator, kailangan 2 to 3 experience, ganito ang technical kailangan namin, magaling sa ganitong application, magaling mag-AutoCAD, something like that. So ngayon, ipapasa yan ng department manager ng engineering sa HR. Ngayon, i-analyze yan magkano yung magiging sahod o magkano ba yung budget ng HR dun sa posisyon na yon. Okay? Meron tayong tinatawag na wage table. Okay? Kaya nga 'di ba napapansin mo ang trabaho, for example, ang isang posisyon lang may maximum yan. Hanggang ganun lang yung kaya ng HR. For example, 30 to 35,000 o gayon lang. Okay? Kung medyo konting 1,000 lang o 2,000, baka pwede pang hilutin. Okay? Kung talagang in need. Okay? So, pero may wage table tayo. Okay, ngayon, start searching. After na makuha yung form na yon, okay, ipapa-approve yan sa HR. Kasama na nga yung mga table, yung job description, something like that. Ngayon, mag-start na ng sourcing ang HR. Okay, we have mga tools. May mga LinkedIn, JobStreet, Indeed. Okay, yung mga ganyan ang ginagamit na mga ginagamit ng HR. Kaya nga, di ba guys, kung meron kayong LinkedIn o kung may personal website kayo o kung meron kayong, ay di ba, ang dami daw palang proseso. Totoo po yan. Akala mo lang pinasa, then bahala kayo. Na, hindi po. Ngayon, tinuturuan ko kayo guys. So, ngayon, start searching. So, ngayon, kaya di ba lagi ko sinasabi, you have to read the job description. Kasi guys, ang ginagawa ng HR para malesen yung time sa pag-hire, fini-filter na yan. Okay? Kung inilagay mo sa LinkedIn mo na magaling ka sa ganitong process, so meron kang skills na ganito at na-filter ka, possible na magkaroon sila ng initial interview. O ngayon, parang masu-shortlist ka na. Okay, uy, itong batang to, meron kang skills na ganito. Okay, kung ipu-pull out niya yung resume mo. Ngayon, ini-screen na in interviews. Guys, ang interview meron initial. Okay? May initial, may second interview, and may third. Minsan nga may panel pa. Ganon kadami. Okay? Depende po yan sa kumpanya. Okay? Minsan dalawa lang. May initial and then may final na. Okay? Minsan naman, isa lang. Okay? Bahala ka na. Parang hired on the spot ka na. Okay? Depende nga yan sa recruitment process. So, yung screening, di ba nga nakita niya yung nag-screen siya. Yung resume mo, tatawagan ka na for initial interview o kaya pwedeng phone. Okay? Pero parang ang dali, oh. Hindi po, madami po yan. So, tatawagan, okay? So, after that, okay, okay ka na for phone interview, pwede ka nang tawagan for pagre-report ka sa office for initial interview naman. Okay? Pag nakapasa ka na sa initial, yun nga, ano uli yan, o sige, i-schedule ka na for the second interview. So, ganun yan, hanggang sa makaabot ka ng third interview, which is the final interview. Minsan, yun nga, sabi ko, may panel pa. Okay? And lastly, the evaluation and the offer. Okay? So, ang final interview po is sa HR. Bakit? Ang HR manager po ang nagbibigay ng job offer. Okay? Kung hindi man, kung hindi ko man siya interviewin, ako yung gagawa ng papel. Okay? Kung after, lakam alive ni Ms. Steph, parang dali pero mahirap pala. Oo, totoo yan. Okay, hindi. Parang ini-encourage ko lang kayo, guys. Okay? Okay. So, yung final interview, guys, hindi na sa okay, bigyan ko lang kayo. Ang final interview po ay hindi na siya ganun kabigat kung tutuusin. Hindi na siya katulad ng initial interview. Kasi nakapasa ka ng initial interview eh. Ang final po, hindi ka natatanungin niya, can you tell me about yourself or something like that. Ang final interview ay kilimitan ang tinatanong dyan ay mga behavioral question na or kaya mga behavioral and situational. Okay, for example, okay, nakita mo yung co-worker mo nagnanakaw, anong gagawin mo? Okay, nakita mo siya yung ganito, mga situational question na siya, o nakita mo yung best friend mo, nagkaroon ng kaaway sa loob ng kumpanya, o anong gagawin mo? Anong mga steps ang gagawin mo? Ganun siya. Guys, ha? Mga hindi ka tatanungin 5 years from now, something like that, hindi na. Mga situational question na siya and behavioral questions. Alright? And the job offer. Magkaiba po ang job offer sa kontrata. Okay? Ito dapat yung aim mo. Magkaroon ka ng job offer. Okay? So makikita mo yung job offer, yung position title mo. Of course, dapat ang job offer ay nakapangalan sa'yo. Okay? So document siya. Lagi ko sinasabi ko dun sa TikTok, guys, is kapag nagkaroon ng job offer, pwedeng email siya or hard copy na pupuntahin ka tapos pipirmahan ka. Always make sure na nakapangalan sa'yo. Okay? Ang job offer po ay hindi siya pwedeng general. Ang ibig sabihin, walang pangalan. Kumbaga kung kani-kanino lang siya ibinibigay, hindi po. Okay, we will call you. Kalimitan yan. Okay? So, explain ko bakit nga ba sinasabi ng ganyan. Okay? So, yun nga, job offer, and then, yun nga, makikita mo doon, kung nagkaroon ka na ng experience, for example, 5 years ka na nagtatrabaho, 3 years ka na nagtatrabaho, okay? Pwede ka mag-negotiate. Pero kung wala pa as a fresher, okay, pwede, kumbaga parang yun na muna yung entry level. Okay, kasi nga fresher tayo. Alright? So, depende sa'yo kung medyo malayo ba yung kumpanya, ano mo yung expenses mo. So, yun lang. Yun yung mga recruitment process. And kasama yung recruitment process din kasi din yung onboarding na. Onboarding lang naman, ibibigay lang naman sa'yo yung handbook mo, yung kontrata mo, explain lang yung company policies. So, yun na po yun. Pero generally, ito po yung recruitment process. And then, congratulations, okay? Nakalagay na siya sa 201 file, okay? Ang 201 file po ay very confidential. Dapat as an HR, marunong kang magtago. You know how to keep your mouth shut as an HR, okay? Hindi ka pwedeng chismosa sa HR, okay? Minsan chismosa, okay, sige. Low-key chismosa, okay? Pero of course, yung pagiging chismosa mo dahil dapat sa'yo lang siya. Okay, Marites, sabi nga ni Romel, ang pagiging Marites mo sa HR dapat nasa iyo lang. Hindi mo siya pwedeng, alam mo ba, yung isa dyan, nakabuntis daw. Co-worker natin. Hindi mo pwedeng ganon, okay? Kung magiging Marites lang, sa'yo lang po yun. Okay, walking CCTV. Which is true, pero guys, yun, as an HR, okay, kung medyo madaldal ka, sip your mouth. Okay? So, ganun lang. Okay. Ngayon, sino ba? Yan, Mare, anong update? Sige. Tapos yung HR manager pa yung nagbigay sa'yo ng update. Yan ang masama. Alright. So, ngayon, guys, gusto ko makita sa emoji. Sinong takot sa inyo sa interview? Thumbs up nga kung sinong takot sa inyo. Aba, walang takot sa interview. Aba, ang tatapang naman nila. Okay, goods yan na. Okay, ngayon, ayan, medyo marami-rami rin pala. Okay, ngayon guys, okay. Ngayon, tuturuan ko kayo, paano nga ba mag-stand out sa isang interview? Guys, ang isang interview, dapat hindi nyo yan kinakatakutan. Bakit? Siguro, one of the reason kung bakit kayo natatakot, so totoo lang, ito totoo, this is like a true story. Kahit naman ako guys, okay, hindi po kayo nag-iisa, halos himatayin po ako nung first interview ko. Yung hindi na po ako nakakapagsalita. Parang mukha na ako nag-lockjaw. Kasi nga, alam mo kung bakit. Okay, bakit nga ba? Bakit nga ba tayo kinakabahan sa isang interview? Kung hindi ka ganun kagaling sa English, doon ka masyadong kinakabahan. Okay? Sa totoo lang, doon tayo nagiging conscious. Doon tayo kinakabahan kasi ma'am, hindi ako fluent sa English. Hindi ko kaya ko pong i-express siya ng Tagalog, pero dahil nauna nga po yung kaba ko, dahil nga nag-i-English HR o kaya nai-intimidate po nga sa HR kasi nga pure English po si HR. Hindi ko po kayang sabayan. Okay, that's the most number one reason bakit kinakabahan ang isang aplikante kasi nga hindi nga daw tayo masyadong fluent sa English o hindi tayo nakakapagsalita ng ng English. Okay, ngayon, paano nga ba? Okay, how to stand out an interview? Okay, number one. Okay, wala pa lang number one, okay? Always remember yung sasabihin ni Miss Tessa. Okay, aalisin niyo muna yung kulay puti. Always remember the 3 letters. Okay? RPP. Okay? 10 years from now, lagi mong iisipin. Sabi ni Miss Tessa, RPP daw. Okay? Ano ibig sabihin po nun? You always have to research. You always have to plan. And lastly, you always have to practice. Okay? Ito yung nakakalimutan ng mga aplikante. Okay? O mga estudyante. Hindi tayo nagre-research sa isang kumpanya. Okay? Sasabak tayo. Para anong nangyari, guys, is ang nangyari is sa sobrang dami nating sinisendan na CV or resume, hindi na natin alam kung sino nga ba yung kumontak sa atin. Okay, totoo yan. Minsan tatawag yan, ano nga pong company to, ma'am? Minsan may ganon. Tapos, hahanapin niyo sa job street kung sino yung tumawag sa kanya. Okay, sino yung anong name ng kumontak? Ano nga ba yung name nun? Minsan nga hindi mo pa, minsan lalo na kapag Japanese company di ba? Minsan hindi mo na alam ano nga ba yung sabi ng pagkaka-pronounce, hindi ko na alam. Okay? So, dahil nga, yun nga, lagi mong i-list down yung mga kumpanya na inano mo, na sinenda mo ng CV, and you always have to research. Ang pinaka-best friend mo dyan is the company website. Okay? Huwag kang pupunta sa isang interview nang hindi ka nagsa-search or nagre-research sa isang kumpanya. Okay? Bakit? Ganda points and pogi points yan. Maniwala kayo sa akin, guys. Pag tinanong ka ng HR, do you have anything, have you researched about the company? And then nagsabi ka, miss, ganito po kayo, nagpo-produce kayo ng ganito. Nagpo-produce ka sa ganyan, ganyan, ganyan. Uy, mai-impress ako sa'yo. Ibig sabihin, nagiging interesado ka. Okay? Nagiging interesado ka sa kumpanya na ina-applyan mo. Hindi ka lang para pumunta doon at magpa-interview. Tama, sabi ni Anag Days. Dapat may dala kang bala, lalo na kapag pupunta sa isang gera. Okay? So, research. Hindi ko sinabing sa uluhin mo. Get the general idea ano bang tungkol sa kumpanya yon, how the company works, ano yung product nila. Yun lang yun. Hindi ko sinabing sa uluhin mo pati company mission nila at vision. No, hindi po ganun. Okay? So, always have to plan. Ngayon, nauuso po kasi ang video interviews na sa modern era. Pwede ka rin hindi pumunta sa face-to-face. Okay, minsan kasi may mga kumpanya pa rin nag-face-to-face. Bakit? Magkaiba po talaga yung feels, yung vibe ng isang tao, lalo na kapag kausap mo sa personal. Okay? Paano kung nag-face-to-face? Okay, always have to arrive early sa interview. Number 1 rule yan. Okay? 15 minutes. Okay? Para at least hindi ka nagka-cram, hindi ka masyadong hinihingal, at chill-chill ka, makakapag-makeup pa yung mga girls, yung mga boys makakapag-ayos pa ng mga polo, something like that. Pero kung sa video interviews naman, of course, 15 minutes. Kasi magsiset up ka pa ng mga laptop mo. Always make sure na naka-charge siya. Baka mamaya during the interview, ay namatay. Ay, sorry po, miss, hindi ko po na-i-charge. Diba? Ay, nawalan po ng internet. Okay? Guys, always make sure, diba, epic daw. Totoo yan. Always make sure, kapag alam mo naman na may interview ka at medyo mahina yung internet mo, makipag-kapitbahay ka muna. Okay, punta ka sa computer shop, okay? O sa coffee shop na medyo malakas-lakas kasi saglit lang naman ang interview . Okay? So, ganun lang yan. Number 2, print another set of resume. Okay? Bakit? Minsan kasi may instances, guys, na, for example, ikaw, hindi ka, yung hindi, alam mo na medyo hindi, kumbaga parang medyo dehado ka sa posisyon na yon. May instant, this is true, guys, ha? Wait lang. Sorry, nag-feedback yung ano. Anyway, so ayun na nga, yung you print another set of resume. Kasi guys, totoo to. Ang nangyayari kasi is, may instances na yung manager lumabas, and then sabi niya, Tessa, saan hiring to? Ang nangyari, miss, hindi po masyadong nakapasa eh. And then minsan yung manager ng ibang department, sige nga, ipa-interview mo sa akin yan, baka pwede siya. Ganon guys, may instances na ganon na ililipat tayo sa ibang department. Hindi, bakit sinabi ko another set of resume? Hindi mo pwedeng kunin sa HR and then ipapasa mo dun sa department. Ma'am, pwede pong kunin yung HR tapos ang pangit siguro nun, di ba? Ang ethical yon, di ba? Kung sinabi ng ibang department, can I have your resume? At least may huhugot ka naman. O, di ba? And guys, don't forget to bring your ballpen with you. Okay, nauubos na po. Okay, nauubos na po ang budget ng HR sa ballpen dahil kinukuha na po ng mga aplikante. Just kidding aside. Pero yun nga, of course, pandemic, hindi pwedeng mag-share, di ba? So, ganon. And dress code. And lastly, your dress code, hindi ko sinabing dapat mahal. Hindi ko sinabing dapat branded. Ang sinasabi ko dapat, yung nire-reflect, di ba sabi nila, kung ano yung sinusuot mo, nagre-reflect sa personality mo. Okay? Sabi nila sa psych, pero I don't know if it's true, pero ginawa ko siya nung first interview ko. Always wear daw bold colors, like red, ayan. Bakit swerte daw? At the same time, medyo, it exhibits your personality na medyo strong. Ayan. Kahit hindi naman, pero ang ibig sabihin, di ba, yun daw, guys, wala namang masama, di ba? So, always, and make sure din na medyo maayos din naman siya. Baka naman kasi, hinahabol ka na ng plancha. O baka naman mamaya, kulay red yung nasa taas mo, kulay blue naman yung pants mo. Tingin nyo ba medyo appropriate siya? Baka naman mukha kang parot nun, di ba? Ang ibig sabihin sa girls, pwede mag-palda, slacks, okay, mag-blazer. Ang mga boys naman, pwede mo naman po mag-polo, pwede mag-long sleeves, bahala po kayo. Basta make sure na professional siyang tignan. Alright? And lastly, okay, practice. Okay? Guys, kahit gaano kaganda yung interview, yung resume mo, sabi ni Ms. Tessa, okay, ang linis na ng interview ko, maaga pa sa maaga yung nakapunta ako. Pero kung hindi ka rin makakapasa sa isang interview nang hindi ka nagpa-practice, wala din. Hindi ka rin makakuha sa pagiging HR. O hindi ka rin of course, di ba? Pag nag-i-interview ka kasi, guys, as an HR, dapat you know how to interview din. Okay? So ngayon, practice. Kasi di ba, wala rin, siyempre yung friends, yung mga friends ko, siyempre busy kami way back 2013. So lahat nagsusearch ng job. Siyempre excited magkaroon ng trabaho. So wala akong friends na makakapag-usap na kumbaga para nagkakaroon kami ng mock interview. So ngayon pwede ka, or kung ikaw lang mismo sa sarili mo, pwede mong isulat sa papel, and then meron kang fishbowl, okay? O meron kang bowl, and then random mo, and then ilagay mo, shuffle mo, and then basahin mo, and then practice ka. O kung paano mo sasagutin yung mga common question. Guys, kapag sa initial interview, mga common question lang din naman kasi yan. Okay, marami sa Google, maraming sa TikTok, o follow nyo sa Millennial Manager, o di ba? So, ganon kung paano siya sasagutin. So, yun, always practice, okay? Baka mamaya nakasimangot ka during the interview, o kaya kinakabahan ka or something. So, yun nga. Always remember the 3 letters, RPP. Alright? So, yun. Sana. Thank you po, okay, JB, for following. Okay, so ngayon nasa interview ka na, natawagan ka na. Natawagan ka na ni HR. Ngayon, tips to improve your performance. Okay, ngayon, always make sure you always have to practice good non-verbal communication. Ang communication po, hindi lang lagi sa bibig. Okay? Non-verbal communication, it includes the eye contact. Of course, minsan kasi may mga aplikante or may mga company na hindi nagpapatanggal ng mask. So, ang nakikita na lang nila is mata. Pag hindi ka nakatingin sa HR, alam namin na kinakabahan ka or hindi ka confident enough. Okay? Always listen and understand. Guys, sa modern world, ibinibigay na namin yung job description during the interview pa lang. Okay, sasabihin ko, Marvin, your position will be assistant. You'll be reporting with the manager. Every Monday, mag-check ka ng attendance, blah, 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 blah. At the end of the interview, sasabihin ng HR, okay, Marvin, are you comfortable with the job description? Something like that. Ganyan. Tapos sasabihin mo, ano nga po uli yung sinabi ni Miss kanina? Doon pa lang, hindi ka na nakikinig and at the same time, parang hindi ka interesado. Medyo lutang ka ba during the interview? Something like that. You always have to pay attention and always make sure na binibigyan mo rin siya ng indication na nakikinig ka. Okay? Tango ka lang. Diba? Opo, Miss, naiintindihan ko. Do I have, meron ba akong questions? Okay? Okay, mamaya, later, kung ano ba yung mga question na dapat mong itanong. Okay, number 3, use proper language. Okay? Always make sure din, guys, na, of course, more on social media tayo. Marami tayong nakikita sa social media. Never mong i-brought up ang mga age, yung race, okay, religion, and politics during the interview. Bakit? Minsan, of course, di ba, dahil nga sa interview, magkaiba kayo ng perspective eh. Hindi niyo dapat pag-usapan yan kasi ang interview is all about you. All about the job description, all about the position. Okay? And lastly, ito yung nakakalimutan lahat ng mga estudyante. Always ask questions. Okay? Wag kang aalis sa isang interview nang hindi ka nagtatanong ng question. Okay? But never ask for a compensation. Okay? Sa initial interview, ganito lang, analogy lang yan, guys. Pupunta ka ba sa isang date, sasabihin mo dun sa crush mo, tayo na? 'Di ba? Hindi naman kasi nagde-date ka pa eh, 'di ba? So, ang ibig sabihin, during the interview, sasabihin mo, Miss, magkano nga po ba yung sahod dito? Magkano po ba yung benefit? Ano po ba yung mga benefits dito, Miss? May vacation leave po ba kayo? Di ba? Ang awkward naman nun, okay? Always ask question regarding your job position. Ano pa yung day-to-day activity ko as an HR assistant? Or anumang posisyon yung a-applyan mo. Okay? Demonstrate the interest. After regularization ko po or pagiging regular ko, meron po ba kayong advancement? Okay? Baka mamaya, 5 years ka na, assistant ka pa din. At least alam mo na makikita mo, uy, nag-grow yung company. Okay? So, yun nga, day-to-day basis. What else? Ano ba yung culture ng kumpanya? Okay? Pag hindi sinagot ng HR yan, alam mo na. Okay? Ibig sabihin, hindi maganda yung kumpanya. So, ganun lang yan. Ganun lang yung indication na pangit yung kumpanya at hindi. Okay? I'm sure sasagutin ng HR yan. Okay? Ganun din naman din kayo. Pag naging HR kayo, tatanungin din kayo ng mga aplikante. Okay? So, ayun. And lastly, ano yung lagi ko ginagawa? Lagi ako nakangiti. Okay? It shows confidence and positive attitude. Yan ang hindi niyo po dapat kakalimutan. Kahit nakamask ka, makikita yan sa mata. Okay? Kahit magaling kang for example, kala mo nakangiti pero hindi naman sa mask, nakikita pa rin yan sa mata. Okay, kung talagang you show your confidence or you show your positive attitude. During the interview, as an HR, pag naging HR din kayo, guys, mas masarap sa isang aplikante. Okay, mas masarap sa isang aplikante or nakikita mo yung aplikante, lagi kang nakangiti. Okay? Ang sarap-sarap niya or ang sarap-sarap niyang kausapin, ang sarap ng vibe niya. Okay? So, ganon. Confidence and positive attitude. Okay. This is like a few slides now, guys. So, 5 things to expect on your first job. Okay? So, ganito, you need to work hard and get a raise. Guys, ito, no sugar coating, guys. Ito na to. You need to work hard and get a raise. Guys, hindi naman pwedeng magkaroon o tumaas ang sahod nang nakaupo ka lang dyan. Okay? Hindi ka naman pwedeng ma-regular lang din ng 6 months. Okay? Sa DOLE kasi, guys, yung ika 6-month period mo, Okay? Dapat regular ka na. Guys, may mga tao na hindi po nare-regular. Okay? May tinatanggal po dahil pangit yung attitude, yung performance, iligwak din. Okay? So, of course, need to work hard and get a raise. Okay? Ang goal mo naman kasi is you're aiming for the highest position available. Okay? Everyone is not your friend. 15 years na, hindi pa regular, dami ko po kilala. Oy, negative yan ha, hindi pwede sa dole yan. 15 years. Anyway, okay, everyone is not your friend. Okay, bakit? Okay, sabi ni Cindy, inulit niya ulit. Everyone is not your friend. Bakit? Okay. Sa isang kumpanya, pwede lahat kayo, sa isang school, okay, sa school, sa organization, lahat kayo pwede maging honor. Tama? Sa kumpanya, hindi lahat kayo pwede maging manager. Isa lang po o dalawa. Okay? Pag hindi umaalis yung nasa nakaupo, hindi ka pwedeng umangat. Okay? Anong ibig sabihin? Pwede, may mga pagkakataon na ikaw yung tatapakan o ikaw yung mananapak ng tao para lang makaupo sa pinaka mataas na posisyon. Guys, kahit may mga point of view, kahit mga kaibigan mo nga yan. Actually, hindi mo natatawag na kaibigan yan kapag binackstab ka. Hindi na kaibigan yon. Pero yun nga, may mga instances na matatapakan at matatapakang tao ka. Okay? Sometimes you don't use your skills you learn from school. Okay, may mga instances hindi po tayo mag-algebra, hindi po tayo magta-trigo. Okay? Hindi. Ang gusto ko lang sabihin dito is kung ano yung natututunan mo, for example, communication skills, leadership skills, yung pakikisama mo sa ibang tao, yung interpersonal relationship mo with other people, yun yung baunin mo kapag nagkaroon ka ng trabaho. Pakikisama. Okay? You have to be proactive. Okay? Huwag mo hintayin na utusan ka ng boss mo. Dahil fresher ka nga, of course, sasabihin mo, Miss, ano po bang ano po bang kailangan kong magawa? Ayan. Not every day is a rewarding day. Guys, may mga point of view ka talaga. May instances na not every day is a rewarding day. Kumbaga, mapapagod at mapapagod ka. Okay? Monday na naman. Kaya ako na, sana Friday na lang ulit. May mga ganyan. Okay? Always, lagi mong iisipin. 15 na, malapit na mag-15, may pang Shopee na ako. Char lang. Ang ibig sabihin, yun nga, mapapagod ka, ma-demotivate ka, pero always mo ding iisipin, bakit ka ba nagsimula? Okay, di ba? May mga pangarap ka. So magtanong ng negosyo or something like that, di ba? Long hours and overload works. Okay? Given na yan sa mga HR. Okay? Mga long works. Kahit di man sa HR, kahit lahat naman. Okay? Overload works. Alright? So, this is like a few, words of wisdom dahil nga hindi lang naman po ako nagbibigay lang ng talk. Hindi lang po ako nagbibigay ng mga ng technicalities. I'm also Miss Wow daw. Okay? Sabi ng mga estudyante, Miss Words of Wisdom. Okay, remember to focus what is best for you in the long run. Okay? Instead of what feels you easy or right in the moment. Have fun and most importantly, grow so you can realize those dreams. Guys, it's gonna be a long run pa. Okay? It doesn't mean na kapag graduate mo tapos na lahat. Okay, tapos na ka mag-aral, yehey. No. Ang totoong laban ng buhay ay nasa labas ng school. Pag nagtrabaho ka na, ikaw na yung bibili ng sarili mong panty, ikaw na bibili ng sarili mong toothpaste, toothbrush, baso, plato, lahat. Okay? Bakit? May sweldo ka na eh. Ikaw na yung magbibigay sa mga magulang mo. Okay? So, kaya sabi ko, realize those dreams. Baka kasi may gusto ko talaga ma-attempt. Meron ka talagang dreams. So, ang pangit naman siguro na ipupursu mo yung isang bagay na hindi mo gusto dahil napilitan ka. Di ba nga yung job satisfaction, hindi ka masaya sa ganun. Kaya may mga tao na sasabihin ayoko na, papagod na ako. Hindi naman kasi ako masaya. Guys, hindi napapagod ang isang taong masaya. Totoo yan. Okay? So guys, I think that's it. Sana may natutunan kayo ngayong gabi. Hindi kayo inantok. Hindi kayo nagutom dahil dinner na. Okay? So, thank you so much. It's a wrap. Thank you so much, HR Corps, Dalasal University, Dasma. Maraming thank you.
Wow, that is truly an amazing talk from you, Miss Tessa. Thank you very much, Miss Tessa, for that inspiring talk. Aside from being inspired by you, Miss, I actually learned a lot from your talk. Actually, I have three. Nag-jot down talaga ako, guys. Yung una is be true to yourself. Yung hindi ka pwedeng maging marites,
Yes.
mag HR ka, and also yung RPP. So, ayan, guys.
Ayun, partner.
How about you, partner?
Tinake note ko din yung RPP na yan, partner. Kasi kahit ako, kinakabahan talaga ako sa interviews. Di naman kasi may iwasan yan minsan.
Totoo naman yan, partner. So, ayan, partner, thanks, partner. I know everyone learned so much from our first speaker and also can wait to answer their questions.
Yes, partner. So, ano bang nakikita natin sa mga comment sections, partner?
Parang may tanong na sila, partner.
Ay,
Paunahan
sige.
mo na.
Pero, kuha muna tayo ng question galing sa registration. So, Miss Tessa, this is our first question po.
Or,
What does an HR person need to know to identify a person or applicant for the position?
okay. Guys, ako kasi, okay, ito yung lagi ko sasabihin guys, ang HR po ay hindi pare-pareho. Okay? Ako, magkaiba kay Margarita. How should I, Margarita? Marga?
Marge na lang.
Marge. Okay.
Ako, Marga din po.
Ako, pag naging, for example, si Marge, ibang kumpanya, for example, Nestle. O, si Sang, pwedeng San Miguel. O, di ba? Lalaki ng kumpanyang yan, di ba? So, ako, hindi ko pwedeng sabihin, ako, HR ako, pareho ng ginagawa ni Marge, pareho ng ginagawa ni Sang. Okay? Ako kasi, personally, hindi ako tumitingin sa papel. Okay? Alam mo, tinitignan ko, yung attitude. Paano ba siya nakikipag-usap sa akin? Okay? Tapos na ako sa initial interview eh. Okay? Hindi ko na siya masasala. Okay? Ibig sabihin, sala na sa akin. Ibig sabihin, yun yung lagi kong sinasabi sa mga staff ko. Tingin kayo sa ugali ng tao. Bakit? Ang papel lang yan. Okay? Kahit napakadami mong experience in life, napakadami mong skills, pero tamad ka, yung towards work, tamad ka, mayabang ako, arrogante ako, something like that. Wala rin, ayaw rin kita sa team, ayaw rin kita sa isang kumpanya. 'Di ba? Toxic kang tao kung tutuusin, 'di ba? Baka mag-spread ka pa ng toxicity sa loob ng kumpanya, 'di ba? So, as an HR guys, ganun lang din 'yon. Tingin kayo sa ugali ng tao. Magkaiba po ang pagiging arrogante at confidence. Sana po naisip niyan. So, yun lang po. Kung yun yung tinatanong mo, mas more on attitude ako. Skills can be learned, guys. Skills can be learned. Ang attitude, hindi na po. Okay? Thank you.
Ayan, thank you, Miss Tessa, for that wonderful answer. So, eto naman, Miss Tessa, sa pangalawang tanong natin mula kay Katrina Belario. Ano po yung big questions nyo whenever mag-interview po kayo? Yung parang pinaka-questions nyo po.
Depende naman kasi yan. Okay, ang pinaka siguro big question ko is, pag na-hire ka at nagkaroon ka ng biggest project, okay, for assignment, paano mo siya i-handle na makakatulong ka rin sa ibang coworker mo? Ganun lang. Yun yung parang situational din kasi siya. Hindi more on something. Kasi dapat as an HR or dapat pag naka-in ka na rin kasi talaga sa kumpanya is dapat may matututunan din sa'yo yung kapwa mo coworker. Parang ganon. Hindi ka lang nag-iisa ba? Parang ganon. So, it depends naman yan. As an HR, you can ask anything about the person. Kung gusto mo, tanungin mo kung pogi yung aplikante, kung may jowa na o hindi. Pero totoo yan nung mga siguro, mga first year, second year na nagkatrabaho sa HR, gwapo yung aplikante. Share ko lang guys ha. Tinanong ko kung may jowa siya. So, na-confirm ko na wala siyang jowa. Di in-stock ko. Charing lang. Anyway, anything na makaka-help sa kumpanya. Kidding aside lang yan ha. So, ayan. Thank you.
Ayan, thank you ma'am. Ayan, tuloy na pa-comment tuloy si Mr. JB Abiñante. Na-excite tuloy siya ma'am mag-HR. Dahil sa
Ay,
experience
nako.
nyo.
Well, speaking of him, may question po siya.
I
So,
go.
from Jessie Boy Aviñante. Mahilig sa guwapo. So, sabi niya po, "Hello, Miss Tessa. What is the best question we can ask to our interviewer after the interview?"
As I mentioned a while ago, you can ask yung job description. Okay? After your job, so i-define niya, ganito yung magiging job description, blah, blah, blah. Ano yung culture ng kumpanya? Okay? Kasi as an aplikante or as an individual, dapat yung core values ng isang kumpanya ay align sa'yo. Gets mo? O ibig sabihin, for example, sasabihin niya, ang tao dito, mga positive. Ganyan. Kung makikita mo nga, walang masyadong nagre-resign, something like that. Okay? So, alam mo na, pag walang masyadong nagre-resign, ibig sabihin na bavalue sila ng kumpanya. So, yun. Culture, company culture, the job description, ano yung ginagawa mo, may advancement ka ba after ilang years ng pagtatrabaho mo? So, ayan. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Tessa. So, ayan. Thank you, guys. May question po ba tayo, partner? May nakikita ka pang question dyan?
Yes, meron tayo partner kay Miss Angela Gueta. Go, partner.
Ayun, kay Miss Angela Gueta, ang sabi niya dito is, how to choose the right one for the position? Kung ikaw daw po yung interviewer, Miss Tessa.
Mararamdaman mo yan eh. Mararamdaman mo yan. And at the same time, of course, yun nga, sa attitude, dapat ang attitude ay 70-30. Yung 30 yung mga skills niya. Okay, baka naman puro attitude lang, hindi na, paano kung, okay, willing to learn siya, pero kailangan na kailangan, kasi urgent na urgent talaga yung posisyon. Okay? For example, talagang kulang na sa production, wala na masyadong gumagalaw sa tao, kailangan talaga na, for example, lang sales, ng mga engineering, production, something. So of course, kailangan mo rin ng skills, which is yung sa 30, which is yung 30% nga. So as an HR, mararamdaman mo yan. Meron kasi tayong yung connection sa aplikante. Okay, baka naman juwain mo na yung aplikante, hindi ko po sinasabing gano'n ha. Ang ibig sabihin yung connection as an HR. Mararamdaman mo yan kung fit ba talaga yung aplikante na yan. Pero yun nga, lagi mong titignan, skills and attitude. Right?
Ayan, guys. So, Miss Angela, for sure, nasagot yung tanong mo. So, partner, may tanong ka pa ba dyan?
Yes, partner. And partner, hindi lang pala HRD ang nandito. So, meron tayo from HRN, mga taga CTHM to siya. So, ang tanong niya po ay, possible po ba na, yung pangalan niyo po pala, sorry. So, siya po si Marie Chris Ayate from HRN. Sabi niya po, possible po ba na di ka makapasa sa interview if nagsalita ka ng Tagalog during the interview? Pag na-mental block po kasi tayo, sometimes nakakalimutan natin yung sasabihin natin. Thank you po, sabi niya.
Alright.
Yun po yung tanong.
Okay, so ganito, simply as is kung pwede bang magtagalog during the interview, okay? The answer, it depends. Depende sa kumpanya. Okay? Depende sa kumpanya na aanuhin mo, a-applyan mo. Of course, kapag kasi sa BPO, hindi ka pwede magtagalog doon. Okay? Ang BPO hindi lang agent ha, pwede kang pwede kang office staff sa BPO, okay? So hindi ka pwede talaga magtagalog doon. Pero the other companies, you can ask, Miss, can I express my answers in Tagalog? And then the HR, sure, go ahead. Pwede ka na magtagalog. And at the same time, pag naririnig mo ang HR na nagtatagalog, so ibig sabihin, yun yung indication mo or sign na pwede ka na magtagalog. So, gano'n. Right? But try to express it in wala namang masama kasi 'di ba English is our not first language. Okay? So walang masama ito.
Yan. Sana nasagot uli Miss Marcus yung tanong mo mula kay Miss Tessa. So, meron pa dito Miss Tessa, ang sabi niya from Dui Demilio. Ang question niya po is, as HR, medyo tumataas, how do you handle applicant with strong backer who is not qualified to a job position? And as to the backer, how do you approach in applicant rejection?
Okay, sa mga backer, yung mga may kakilala sa loob, mga ni-refer something. Siguro kasi sa 9 years ko sa pagtatrabaho, once ko lang siya na-experience. may backer, and rejected siya. Yung ano, okay, first things first, ang backer lang kasi guys is, sa atin lang naman kasi uso yan. Sa ibang sa totoo lang, sa ibang bansa hindi po uso ang backer. Kung hindi ka talaga qualified, hindi ko qualified. And at the same time kasi, kung yung nagdedepende kasi yan sa HR kung ipapasa niya o hindi. Okay? So kayo mismo ang mag-filter niyan kung talagang papasa yung aplikante. Eh baka naman kasi, guys, ganito yan, magiging liability kasi yan, guys. Kapag hinire niyo siya tapos wala siyang ganung ka-skills, nagiging mas mahahaba ang trabaho, mas hahaba yung cost ng inaano ng HR. Tapos, for example, kailangan ng HR assistant na magaling sa ganitong application, eh wala siya dahil nga may backer lang siya. Hahaba pa yung process, tuturuan mo pa yan, ititrain mo pa yan, something, lalong hahaba kaysa naman dun sa may experience, di ba? So, how do you approach applicant yung ni-reject? Tell them honestly, sorry, you don't have we will not push through to the next interview kasi hindi ka nakapasa. Okay? Ganun lang 'yon. Yun nga, hindi ka nakapasa, wala ka ganun kaganong experience. Siguro, of course, as an HR, kailangan mo rin siyang medyo i-positive din. Pag binigyan mo siya ng negative, sasabihin mo, you may apply naman after kapag nagkaroon ka na ng experience kapag open uli kami. So, ganun lang yan.
Ayun. Thank you, Tessa, for that answer, Miss. So, partner, may nakikita ka pa bang questions?
Meron, partner. So, from HRD31, Joanna Manya Musa. So, sabi niya po, Hi, Miss Tessa. What is your opinion about fraternization?
Well, I don't against fraternity actually. Okay? I don't against it. Kasi it's your personal choice. Okay? So, hindi naman siya, depende na lang kung maghahampas-hampasan kayo sa loob ng kumpanya, di ba? Pero, ang ibig sabihin is, it's your personal choice. Okay? Wala ako against, or, for example, nalaman ko na sa frat ka, tanungin ko lang ano yung nag-encourage sa'yo to join. And then, miss, kasi ganito, ganyan, ganyan. I don't mind. Okay? But, kung nagkakaroon ka ng, for example, yung fraternity po, pinapasok mo sa kumpanya, nagre-recruit ka kung sino man or something, dun medyo, medyo negative yon. So, kakausapin kita after that. Pero during the interview na sa fraternity, I don't mind. Thank you.
Thank you for that insightful and informative Q&A tonight, Ms. Tessa. But unfortunately, guys, our Q&A ends here.
Yes, Aisa. Medyo bitin ako but I hope everyone is satisfied what Miss Tessa shared. We can all still reach her on her social media accounts, especially on her TikTok.
Ayan. Yes, ako rin, Marga. Sobrang bitin ako. But if you bitin kayo, guys, marami din information that was posted in her TikTok. And of course, to recognize the effort and time of Ms. Tessa, may we call on Ms. Arlen Joyce P. Hernandez, HRD 911 President and the Project Manager of this event, to award the Certificate of Recognition to Ms. Tessa Mercado.
Hello po, good evening. This certificate of appreciation is hereby given to Ms. Tessa W. Mercado for imparting her knowledge and expertise during the HRZ, The Power of Asia in the Modern Era event organized with the class of HRD 911 DLSUD given the 17th day of January 2022 via Zoom meetings. Signed by Ms. Loviela Talam, HRZ Co-Project Manager, HR Corps DLSUD, Ms. Patricia Ann B. Estrillo, HRZ External Affairs Head, HR Corps DLSUD, Mr. Mark Philip Duyog, HRZ Co-Project Manager, HR Corps DLSUD, and signed by Ms. Arlen Joyce P. Hernandez, HRZ Project Manager, HR Corps DLSUD. Thank you once again, Ma'am Tessa.
Thank you, Ms. Arlen Joy, for presenting the Certificate of Appreciation for Ms. Tessa. Of course, we will not end the session without her, without a photo op.
Yes, you're right, partner. For that, I would like to ask everyone to open their cameras for a short photo op. Ayan, guys, ipakita niyo na yung mga magaganda at ang mga kapugian niyo kay Ma'am Tessa.
Yes naman. Wow. Nakikita mo na ba, partner? Naka-open na ba lahat sila? Open your cameras, guys. Minsanan lang to.
Oo, take opportunity na, guys. Open your cam na, please.
Ayan. Nakikita mo na ba ang mga nakikita ko, Miss Aiza?
Yan, ng mga nagagandahan at nagagwapuhang HRD. Talaga naman.
Well, kung naka-open na ang lahat, well, okay. I think everyone is ready, partner. Wow, may nakikita akong tatlo sa isang camera. So, hello sa inyo, HRD. So, Docu Team, are you ready?
Ayan, partner, maraming slides to, ha?
Oh my God. So, Docu Team on my cue. So, guys, eto na. So, 3, 2, 1, smile. Ayan. So, parang isa pa. So, another wide smile from your beautiful faces. So, Docu Team on my cue. Waki daw po, sabi ni Romel Canimo, isang waki. May humahawa, sige, isang waki. So, Docu Team on my cue. 3, 2, 1, smile. Ayan! There you go, partner!
What a lovely faces we've seen, partner. Thank you, everyone. And thank you once again, Miss Tessa.
Precisely, partner.
But before that, partner,
Mm.
Miss Tessa,
Yes, partner.
sabi po ng aming professor na si Dr. Maria Natinaha, thank you very much, Miss Tessa, from sharing your time with my students. I do appreciate the wonderful presentation you made and the learnings you shared. Thanks for inspiring all the participants.
Thank you. Guys, promote ko lang. Kung itatag nyo ako sa IG, ay TW Mercado, guys. Pwede ko kayong ma-feature on my social media sa ano. And I do have FB, Millennial HR Manager. Thank you, thank you.
Thank you, Ma'am. Ayan, guys. Follow her TikTok account na po.
Ayan, guys. So, it is only the proof that HRDs is not only brain, but also got the looks, partner.
Wow naman, partner. I think with that compliment ang mga ka-HRD natin, talagang will go to bed ng mga nakangiti.
Ha, yes, kaya naman, tuloy-tuloy na natin ang pagpapangiti sa ating mga participants.
Tama ka dyan, partners. Now, without any na guys, let's start our pambansang exercise webinar, the Icebreaker Game.
Uy,
grabe naman talaga.
Iba din meron pang pambansang exercise.
Siyempre, partner, hindi dapat tayo nagpapakabog.
Correct. Kaya naman, let's call on our beautiful and lovely game master, our Miss Wilma.
Ayan guys, mukhang nagpe-prepare pa si Miss Wilma. At
Alright, hello.
Ayan na. Ba't parang nasilaw ako bigla? Nagulat ako doon. So, Miss Wilma, are you ready?
Yes, ready. Nakita niyo na pa yung screen ko?
Wala ka pong nakashare.
Really?
Pero nakikita ka
I
namin.
think Miss Wilma
Wait.
wala pa po.
Okay.
Ayan.
This one.
May nakikita na kaming nakashare pero wala siya.
Yeah.
Ayan.
Hello.
Hello. Naririnig ka namin.
Narinig mo ako?
Yes, please.
Yes.
Okay, hello everyone! So good evening! Grabe naman yan. First speaker pa lang natin, nakaka-inspire na. So, first of all, gusto ko lang kamustahin ng lahat. So, survey muna tayo guys ha. Usang trangkaso. So, heart react naman sa mga hindi nilagnat. Like react para sa mga magaling na. At sad react para sa mga may sakit pa rin. So, munting paalala para sa ating lahat. Panatiling malusog ang ating pangangatawan. Kailangan nating magpalakas. Okay? So before we proceed to our next speaker, I have prepared a simple game for you. So guys, sumali kayo sa game natin. Dahil may pa-cash prizes tayo galing sa mga magaganda at nagsisipag-gwapuhang sponsors natin. Virtual clap naman dyan! At hindi lamang cash prizes ang mapapanalunan nyo. Of course, you will gain a lot of knowledge dahil ang game natin ay related pa rin sa human resource course. Alright. Okay. Here. So first awarding, we will select 3 winners who got numerous correct answers. So paramihan ng tamang maisasagot. Please take note sa point system natin ha. The first one to get the correct answer will have 5 points. And the next one will get 3 points and the other one will be giving 1 point. And sa lahat ng mananalo, wait for our team to contact you para sa pag-claim ng prize nyo. So, our game for this afternoon is crossword puzzle. I know this isn't anything new and you're all familiar with this interesting and exciting game. So, may tips tayo to play crossword. Filling in the grid. Tip 1, tip number 2, tip number 3, and tip number 4. So sa clues, it has clues for word search game that will help you to guess the answers, pointing out to a place in the grid. Then across, letters can be placed horizontally from left to right direction. Then down, letters can be placed vertically from top to bottom direction. Reminder lang po, only boxes marked with a yellow highlight will be answered. In short, you need to fill up the empty white squares with letters that fit in the appropriate manner to get the right answer. Okay? So, the question is, are you ready? So, start na tayo. Number 1. Here. Yan. So, guess nyo na mga ka-HRD ang word na to. Ano kaya i-teach? All right. Okay. Okay, may nakakuha na agad ng answer. Ang bibilis sa may mga keyboard warriors ata tayo. So, reveal na, leadership. So, number 2. So, number 2, guess na, define as a concept that helps to create scope and opportunities for the employee by developing his talent and enhancing his skills and know-how. What is this? What is this? Reveal! Guys, ang bilis nyo ha. So, number 3. All right. Number 3. Sorry. Yan, it's a set of principles relating to the functions of planning, organizing, directing, and controlling. So, alam na ng mga kaklase ko yan, no? Alright, may nakasagot na agad. So, next tayo, ang tamang sagot ay management. Next one, number 4. Process that creates growth, progress, positive change, or the addition of physical, economic, environmental, social, and demographic components. Wow, amazing! Ang bilis nyo naman ha, wow. So next na tayo ha, development. Alright, number 5. Here's the number 5. So the process of making choices by identifying a decision, gathering information, and assessing alternative resolutions. Wow! Mga keyboard warriors ng mga kaklase ko ah. Oh! Wow! Sa mga guests. So thank you guys sa pag-participate. Yan, may nakakuha na tayo. So reveal na natin ang tamang sagot. Decision making is the correct answer. So number 6. Number 6. Preferential hiring of relatives and friends, even though others might be more qualified for those positions. So what is this? What is this? Go, go, go. Comment lang. Comment down below. So, ayun, may nakakuha na ulit ng tamang sagot. So, ang tamang sagot natin ay nepotism. Next tayo. Natural ability to be good at something, especially without being taught. What is this? So, dalawang letter na lang yung wala. Okay. Wow. Na agad. So, kitang-kita naman natin. So, the correct answer is talent. So, number 8. Number 8. Number 8. So, what is this? Wow, may nakikita na ako. Okay, dahil kompleto na yung 3 winners natin. So, ang tamang sagot ay retention. So, number 9. What is this? What is this? Process of choosing a qualified person to a specific role who can successfully deliver valuable contributions to the organization. Wow! Alright. Ilan pa lang yung nakakuha? Alright, may mga nakakuha na ulit ng tama sagot. So, the correct answer is selection. Yeah, so, number. Laban, paramihan ng points to. Laban, guys. Mga kaklase ko yan. Sino teacher ng mga to? So, last number na to. Alam na. Wow, ang bibilis. So, alam ko, madali lang to. Ayoko yung pahirapan. So, reveal na tayo. So, last is recruitment. Alright, so. And that's all for this wonderful evening. Congratulations to all winners! Ang gagaling talaga, guys.
And thank you so much.
Guys, wait for your prizes, ha? Sana nag-enjoy kayo sa simple game natin. And once again, thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of this event.
Ayan, thank you, Miss Wilma, for that fun-filled icebreaker game.
Exactly, partner. I know our participants have fun with our icebreaker.
And nothing but the truth, partner.
Oh, is it because of the game or because our game master is absolutely gorgeous?
Wait lang, partner, kumalma ka, okay? Okay, so that's the thing to ponder by the rest of us. But we'll leave
Partner, mukhang nawawala ka ata.
way to have a little bit of suspense.
Well, partner, hindi ko narinig yung sinabi mo kanina. Bigla pa, nagputol-putol ka, partner. Oh my God. Partner. Okay lang ba tayo dyan? Ang ating signal, partner? Yan. So, habang inaantay po natin si Miss Aiza, let's go to our second guest speaker. She is general manager at a retail business with more than 25 branches all over Metro Manila. She spent her 20s overseas, living 6 years in Taiwan, almost 5 years in Hong Kong, and moved around London and Singapore. quite a bit before coming back here to Manila. Her corporate experience lasted for at least a decade, and she had the best work experience in one of the largest tech companies and one of the best investment banks in the world. We invited her as our special guest speaker today because of her very hands on and practical approach on how to smoothly manage Filipino employees and a business in the Philippines. She is also very active in the HR space and has helped many businesses and employees smoothly navigated the rough waters brought about the COVID-19 pandemic last year. In short, marami na siyang natulungan na company para hindi sila madole. And maayos ang pakikisama nila sa kanilang mga empleyado. Miss Tina is an active co-moderator of 3 popular Facebook groups that's related to payroll, labor law, and HR, one of which is the Philippine HR Group, which currently has 260,000 members and counting.
She is also
She is
one of the
also one of the co-hosts of the HR Cafe, Usapay, Trabaho, at iba pa, a free weekly web-based show that is broadcasted every Sunday at 3 p.m. and distributed to various HR groups in the country. The HR Cafe webinar is one way for us to give back to the HR community and provides them with the latest DOLE and market updates and showcases fellow HR experts who will share their expertise on a relevant topic for HR practitioners for free. Tina periodically writes about HR and entrepreneurship at www.tinainmanila.com. If you have a business here in the Philippines, please like and subscribe to tinainmanila.com as her posts makes running a business in the Philippines simple. And maraming helpful tips on what to do if you want to terminate a staff legally in the Philippines and not pay separation pay, or what to do if your staff gets COVID-19 and demands the company pay for their expenses. Tina has a business degree in Ateneo de Manila and an MBA in the Hong Kong Science and Technology University, HKUST. Without further ado, please join me in welcoming Tina Khoe Ang, who will speak tonight about HR in the new normal.
Wait, thank you so much. Let me prepare. Can I share screen for now?
Yes,
Yan.
ma'am.
Yes, go.
Thank you so much for the very warm reception. Thank you to Angel, RC, Avina, Susana, and everybody who's been greeting. Thank you. It's really an honor for me to be presenting this today. Tek lang, ha? Okay, I pray everybody will be patient. Let's see. Okay, let's try. All right. I'm usually using StreamYard, so I hope that everybody's very... Teka lang ha. I also want to see then kasi the chat box so that I know if people are... Ayan, there we go. So time ko na. Time ko na. Ready na? Is everything okay? You can hear me
Yes,
na?
ma'am.
Ilan taon na
Yes.
po kayo? I'm older than you think. That's the truth. All right, my topic for today is HR in the new normal. My original topic was actually managing change in the new normal. Kasi since the arrival of COVID-19 pandemic, everybody's talking about the quote and unquote the new normal. There's talk about flexible work arrangement, compressed work week, work from home. Terminologies dati na hindi naman siya masyadong uso sa employee, sa labor field. Pero ngayon, lahat ng tao na gumagamit ng words like gig economy, digitalization, which happens kasi that most of us are under lockdown and stuck at home. So the most common question that's asked for an HR manager is, paano na yan? It seems that the HR manager, like you guys, graduates of HRC, seems to be replaceable. Kasi palagi, when you talk to more experienced HRs, lagi nila sinasabi, oh, baka mapalitan ng mga HR graduates or mga HR officers kasi nagiging more digital na ngayon ang HR field. Merong business process outsourcing. So, HR functions are now removed from the company and outsourced to somebody else. So, there are a lot of changes now in the HR field. And personally, for me, what's happening in the field, especially in the light of data analytics, increased digitalization, there's also many things that are not changed. For one, a competent and very smart and very honest HR is still very much in demand by many companies. So kahit nasabihin natin in the books or yung mga professors niyo, sinasabi niyo, parang HR is a dying field. I really strongly disagree with that because I always believe na kung magaling ka, alam mo kung anong ginagawa mo, may demand talaga sa inyo and people are willing to pay premium price talaga for a good HR. So when I say the right HR, so today I'm gonna talk to you, what does it mean to be the right HR in the new normal? Okay, so let's go through my presentation. Ano yung mga top 2022 HR trends? HR business outsourcing, reskilling and upskilling, people analytics and automation, workplace flexibility and work from home, cloud-based HR systems, virtual onboarding, okay, workplace diversity, equity and inclusivity, okay, employee experience, and employee well-being and mental health. Sa mga nanonood, sino sa inyo ang nakarinig ng mga buzzwords na to whenever you go to school, whenever you talk to like speakers, di ba? I want to ask, rinig na ba ninyo tong mga buzzwords na to? Yes? Say yes if you are familiar. Mental health always. Ayan. So speakers. Though I do find, yes. Although I do find those who are talking about mental health, pag kunyari hindi nakapag-submit ng homework on time, then you will always blame mental health. Okay? Pag yung tao hindi makapasok or gusto mag-immediate resignation, yan na naman ang gagamitin ng mental health. But do you guys know that mental health issues be diagnosed first? Okay? Before an employee can say they have a mental health issue, they must first see a clinical psychiatrist or psychologist. Without a proper assessment, hindi naman kayo doktor, hindi nyo pwede sabihin na may mental health issue. Okay? So I'll talk about that a little bit because I want to emphasize that despite the many HR trends na nakikita ninyo, lalo na sa school, what's most important pa rin is, do you guys really know what you are doing once you enter the workforce? Okay? So I'm going to talk about, for example, HR business outsourcing, reskilling, upskilling, people analytics and automation. It's all about the intellect. It's all about what you know. But the most basic question you have to ask yourself is, do you actually know how HR in the Philippines works? Okay? And are you constantly learning and upskilling? And can you manage and understand big data? Because it's not really about being... Ang pinaka-importante is, when you become an HR, do you actually know the basics? And I'd like to welcome you guys all in my example today. Ito lang very, very basic natin ha. Let's start with the usual scenario. The scenario is, you caught somebody stealing 1 million pesos worth of jewelry. So you have a jewelry shop. Nahuli mo siya with CCTV proof. Questions, mga ka-HR, can you actually terminate him immediately? Okay? Nahuli mo na siya na nagnakaw ng 1 million pesos, complete with CCTV proof, red-handed. Can you terminate him immediately? So mga Lasal Dasma students and beyond, can you answer lang yes or no? No po, sabi ni Christine. Yes po. Nope. No. Sabi niya mo. Who says yes? Kasi nangyari actually sa group of companies namin. Meron talagang nagnakaw ng 1 million pesos worth of jewelry. Supervisor talaga. And then may proof talaga na nagnakaw siya. Yes, that is correct. You must undergo due process. Okay? Second scenario, you have a restaurant and your security guard caught a waiter with an orange in his bag. The waiter admitted to taking the orange from the kitchen and said sorry, and he just meant to give it to his 7-year-old daughter for merienda. You have an issue where bits and pieces of food is missing from the kitchen. You have documentation that this person actually stole money. Stole inadmit niya in paper. Okay? Inadmit niya in paper na talagang kinuha niya yung orange. Can you terminate him? And should you terminate him? All right? No, sabi ni RC. Who else? Here's the question. Orange lang, can you terminate an employee? Yun yung tanong. Kasi 'di ba sabi ng mga tao, kailangan marunong kang magmahal sa fellow employees. Imagine magkano lang ang orange, 30 pesos lang 'yan. Okay? And there is no guarantee talaga that this waiter stole everything else. Sa kanya lang talaga, isang orange lang nahuli siya, okay? Isang orange lang. Hindi ibig sabihin na may issue kayo na may nawawala sa kusina, siya lahat ang nagnakaw. Isang orange lang. So, avenante, depending on company policy, disciplinary action needed, trust issues sa magiging, orange lang yan, Romel. Diba? Like, it's only a single piece of orange. Ira, it can lose the confidence of the employer. It depends on the size of the situation. Hindi, it's just an orange worth 35 pesos, okay? Romel says same as a piso or 1 million peso. Actually, there is a reading assignment here. There is jurisprudence na merong ang office staff na nahuli ng security guard na nagnakaw ng scotch tape. Yung scotch tape na yon hindi pa po siya ubos. So it's already half filled. Okay? And nahuli siya inside the bag. Inamin naman talaga ng tao na kinuha niya yung scotch tape para sa anak niya. Okay? Same with this example na kumuha ng orange sa kusina. And ang nangyari, kahit na kinuha niya ang scotch tape, na-terminate si staff. Obviously, the staff felt that the scotch tape is not equivalent to his security of tenure. Kasi scotch tape lang nang nawala, right? Ang kinuha niya, inadmit talaga niya, kinuha niya yung scotch tape, pero napakaliit daw yun for a termination. Kasi terminating a staff is a very serious issue. Now, here's the question. Umabot sa Supreme Court. In my jurisprudence, okay? How do you think the Philippine jurisprudence judged? Is the dismissal legal or illegal? Yan na. Scotch tape. Same with orange. Okay? Inamin naman talaga ng staff na kinuha niya, pero hindi naman niya sabi naman niya hindi naman daw mali siya, pero dapat hindi daw fair na matanggal siya para sa isang scotch tape. Due process pa rin po. That's not the question. The question is, pag dinole po kayo at umabot po tayo sa korte, mananalo po ba kayo or hindi? Is it legal or illegal? Sige. Sabi niya, Joyce, legal po. Christine, legal po. Sabi ni Joven, valid. The jurisprudence prove that the termination was legal. Okay? Legal. So long as the offense happened and the company followed jurisprudence, so company followed due process, and it was really proved that the person stole something did not ask for approval, did not ask for authorization, actually stole items, even a small item such as orange or tape is valid for termination. Qualified theft. Here, question though sa mga estudyante naman is, given that it is legal and you know there is a possibility of winning, would you terminate a staff just because the person stole a piece of tape or an orange? Iba yung legal at hindi legal. Iba naman kung tama or hindi. Would you terminate the person for stealing a piece of orange? Sabi ni Romel, ako po hindi. Sabi ni RC, no. Sabi ni, sino pa? Sabi ni Joyce, hindi po, for stealing a piece of tape or orange. I'm giving you these examples because I am sharing with you that being a good HR is not very easy. Kasi you're dealing with people, right? You're dealing with people, and people are very, what do you call it? They're not very logical. They're not very reasonable at times. A lot of people are saying in the chat box, you will not terminate somebody who stole orange or scotch tape, right? Kasi livelihood yan ng tao eh. But on the other side, you also have to consider how to be fair and reasonable. You need to understand, if you do not terminate, if you do not follow due process, and if you give the person a chance, you also have to be fair, for example, for the thousand or hundred of people who are in your organization. Okay? Being a good and fair HR does not mean you are good to one person. You always have to be good and fair to all. Kasi if pinakawalan mo tong waiter for stealing a piece of orange, the chance of you actually, paano kunyari nahuli naman ninyo yung kusinero na nagnanakaw ng 1 kilo ng karne? Tatanggalin mo ba siya? It's really hard to draw the line, correct? Kasi hindi mo mapagkakatiwala ng bagay maliit. I know, right? But here's the problem talaga. When you are the HR and when you're talking to a person and the person is saying, bibigay daw niya yung orange sa 7-year-old daughter, that's when the heart really comes in. Will you do? Ang dali-dali kasing sabihin when you're a student, yes, we must terminate. Yes, this is legal. But when it comes to actual practice, and you're really talking to that person, and that person's crying their heart out because tatanggalin siya sa trabaho at ang hirap ngayon maghanap ng trabaho, dun talaga malalaman kung magaling kang HR or hindi. Sabi ni Girly Joy, incident report lang muna. That's true. Pero like for me, sa akin, we do have that. I've terminated staff for stealing 50 pesos or 250 pesos. Okay, I followed due process and I terminated them. And it was so difficult for me to do in my initial year. So during my first or second year of HR, ang hirap talaga magtanggal ng tao. And that is when that really separates a good HR with a not so good HR, is you really care about the other person. And yet, you must still do your job, because kindness is one thing, but doing the right thing, even when it hurts, is another. Because sometimes if you do not do the right thing now, when will you do the right thing? If hindi mo tanggalin si Sir Waiter today, pag sinunod ka ni Mr. Kusinero, anong gagawin mo? Pag sinunod ka naman ni Mr. Security Guard, anong gagawin mo? Pag sinundan ka naman ni Miss Manager, anong gagawin mo? Pag nangyari po yon, ang matatanggal si HR. Correct? Kasi hindi alam ni HR paano ayusin ang mga tao. At nagiging problema talaga ang sistema ng kumpanya kasi hindi alam ng HR kung anong dapat niyang gawin. Sometimes it's easier for us to stop a person stealing one orange than to stop the entire restaurant from stealing from your employer. And I share with you this because I'd like to emphasize, it's not, you can be kind, mabait ka kung mabait. Pero, pag may taong hindi lumalabag sa rules ng company, then you still have to do the right thing. You still have to do the courageous thing. Meron akong kakilala, ninakawan ng milyones. Kawawa naman, wala nang pera tong tao na to, tapos kakasuhan mo pa. My personal stance, always kaso. Why? Kasi kung hindi mo kinasuhan, ano mangyayari sa totoo? Kunyari, may isang staff na nagnakaw, malaking ninakaw, hindi nyo due process, nag-awol na lang yung tao, tapos nag-file kayo ng, tapos after that, parang sinisingil nyo ng pera, ginugulo mo siya. Anong usually gagawin ng taong nagnanakaw? Sige nga, practically. What they would do is, magdodole po sila. I'm not kidding. Nagnakaw na nga, magdodole pa. Yes, idodole. Karamihan ng mga magnanakaw na nakilala ko, nagdodole talaga. Anong sasabihin nila? Illegal termination. Because if the owner and the HR do not know what they are doing and they actually mismanage the occasion, what they will do is yung tao na yon na nagnakaw, para hindi mo siya kasuhan ng qualified theft, ang gagawin niya is dodolihin ka muna. At ang problema pag nadole ka na, ang hirap kang mag-file ng qualified theft case against that person kasi naunahan ka. So I always recommend to my friends, pag kunyari may nakawan, always do investigation, follow due process, terminate that staff properly first, and then file a qualified theft case against that person. Because if you do not follow due process inside your company and outside, you will be a victim as well. Ninakawan ka na sa loob ng kumpanya, magbabayad ka pa ng back wages kasi mananalo talaga yung staff na yon, lalong-lalo na pag hindi marunong yung HR. Okay? Next. I'd like to remind everybody, okay? Ito, I'm gonna share with you guys kasi I'm not, depends on who I'm talking to. Some university students do not know this, so this is just a review. Pinaka-importante for HR in the Philippines is that Filipino workers enjoy security of tenure. So hindi po kayo pwedeng magbasta-bastang magtanggal. Okay? Alam naman po ninyo, right? So there's no such thing as immediate termination. And there is no such thing as immediate resignation. Okay? Hindi po pwede yung ganon. Dapat palagi, there is only two ways that you can terminate a person. Reminder, review lang to sa mga taong hindi, you need to, this must be remembered. There's only two ways to terminate. There is just cause for termination, which is kasalanan ng tao, and authorized cause for termination pag hindi kasalanan ng tao. For just causes of termination, magkanong separation pay? Sige, go. How much is separation pay for just causes? Please impress me, mga lasalistas. Magkano ang separation pay ng just cause of termination? Duy, sino pa? Sige, go. How much is the separation pay if you terminate a person for just causes? Please remember this kasi I'm surprised at many Sabi ni Duy, half-month salary per year of service. Joven says none with question mark. All right? Reminder kasi this must be your Bible. You must remember this all the time. Just causes for termination does not have any separation pay. Okay, ulitin ko no separation pay if you resign, if your contract has ended, either you are a contractual employee or a project-based employee. Don't say not entitled just it's talaga wala. Okay? A lot of people saying not entitled, pero when I talk to people, meron ba or wala? Sagot is wala. Okay? Kasi kasalanan po ng empleyado na umalis po sila. So pag resignation, end of project ng contractual, tsaka end of project ng project-based, and if you were terminated for your own fault, wala pong separation pay yan. Pag naman hindi naman kasalanan ng employee, if it is authorized cause of employee, for example, redundancy, retrenchment, closure of business, disease, then yes, there is separation pay. Put in mind, remember, authorized cause is pag retrenchment or closure of business or disease, it's half-month pay per year of service, minimum of 1 month. And if it is redundancy, if it is parang napalitan ka for a cost-saving device, then it's 1 month pay per year of service. That means if an employee is 1 year retrench siya, magkano ang separation pay? Ayan math tayo. 1.5 years, 18 months na po si employee. How much is separation pay pag na-retrench? Okay? Magkano? Separation pay is 1 month. Ulitin ko kasi if it's retrenchment, closure of business and disease, it's half-month pay per year of service, minimum of 1 month. So hanggang 2 years po, kunyari, if the employee has been with you for 2 years and 5 months, it's still 1 month pay. Kahit na 2 years and 5 months as employee, it's still 1 month of pay pag na-retrench po siya. Pero pag 2 years and 6 months, round up, so 3 years na po siya, so umaat po siya to 1.5 months. Okay? Gets? All right, there we go. Next. Just causes for termination, because I'm reminding you this because you need to know this when you get into the workforce. Just causes for termination, serious misconduct, or willful disobedience by the employee. Kasama na po dito ang insubordination. So, pumasok. And sobrang maraming tao ang gumagamit nito over the last 2 years kasi maraming ayaw pumasok after nag-lockdown. Okay? So there we go. Gross and habitual neglect of duty. Pag ang tao ay laging late, okay, make sure that the lates are gross and habitual. Hindi ibig sabihin, for example, if the person, kunyari, sales staff ka, tapos you miss your quota, hindi po pwedeng tanggalin agad yung tao dahil nag-miss siya ng quota. It must be documented that the person is grossly and habitually neglecting their duty. So an HR must be sure to submit, dapat lagi nyo siyang ina-IR. Pag kunyari, verbal lang po ang inyong warning, hindi nyo po siya pwedeng tanggalin. Kahit na kunyari yung tao na yon ay pasaway, pero wala kayong written documentation sa kanyang pagkasaway, hindi po pwede. Now here's the question. A lot of companies, what they do is, they only sermon the person. Diba? Wala silang masyadong IR kasi maraming HR ayaw magsulat. Tapos, ang nangyari, yung tao na yon naging sobrang bastos. So what the HR will do is they will make an instant report and they will enumerate all the instances before na naging pasaway yung tao. Here's the question. Can you actually terminate the person? Ulitin natin ha. Practical tayo. May mga pasaway kayong empleyado. For example, lagi siyang late, lagi siyang absent. Pero ang ginawa mo, wala kayong binigay ng IR. Pero after gusto mo na siyang tanggalin, gumawa kayo ng isang IR, nakalista po lahat ng kasalanan niya. Tapos sasabihin niyo, serious misconduct, willful disobedience, and gross and habitual neglect of duty. Can you terminate that person? Given na you're following the twin notice rule. Dewey says no, Romel says no, Christine says no. Yes, it's still a no because for just causes of termination, it must be gross and habitual. Reprimand. How do you reprimand? Pag nagma, okay? When you are actually talking to a staff, please be very, you always have to put yourself in their shoes kasi there's a point in time pag lagi mo siyang pinapagalitan, hindi na makikinig. At pag naging pasaway ang staff, ikaw din ang mag-aayos. So always be careful when you talk to staff. Okay, next. Fraud and willful breach of trust. Please be very careful. The employee must hold a position of trust and confidence. Routinely charged with care and custody of the employee's money or property. So kasama nito is cash, auditors, or stock custodians. The loss of confidence should not also be simulated or used. An employee must be guilty of an actual and duly supported by substantial evidence. You this because a lot of employers use breach of trust when terminating managers. Correct? A lot of companies use breach of trust or loss of trust and confidence when they terminate managers. For example, gusto na ito manager na to. Pero after a while, ayaw na. So ang gagamitin nila is breach of trust. Right? So sabi niya, I don't have confidence anymore that this manager is a good leader to the team. Is the termination legal or not? If you actually use breach of trust to terminate managers of whom you have no more confidence to be a leader. Sige nga, Lasal, you've so far impress me some more. Okay? Wala na sumasagot. Ano nangyari? Twin rule and hearing applies. Okay, may twin rule at saka may hearing. can you still may twin rule, you're following due process. You're still fine. Is it legal or not to terminate a manager for breach of trust? Because you're not confident anymore on the manager's ability to lead. Okay? The answer is you have to be very careful. You cannot get rid of a person by arbitrarily saying wala ka ng trust and confidence to that person. Loss of trust and confidence must first be documented. Okay? And you must make sure talaga, ang dami mong ebidensya talaga na yung tao na yan ay incompetent. Sobrang hirap talaga mag-use ng breach of trust kasi it is a very subjective term used by many employers kasi they're just gonna terminate a person in the hopes na hindi magdodole yung tao. Pero pag nagdole ang manager, and wala kang documentation talaga that that person is constantly losing your trust and confidence, mananalo po talaga yung tao na yan pag nag-file po siya ng illegal termination case. Kasi breach of trust cannot be arbitrary. The person must hold a position of trust and confidence, and they must be routinely charged with care and custody of the purse of the company's money and property, and they must be guilty of an actual and willful breach of duty supported by substantial evidence. Gets? I'm sharing with you this kasi most employers just read point number 1. They do not read point number 3. The person, the employee, must be guilty of an actual and willful breach of duty, duly supported by substantial evidence, and the HR manager must know to tell the boss, boss niyo, pwede talaga tanggalan yan kasi pag nagdolo yan talaga, ang laki talaga ng babayaran natin kasi sigurado matatalo talaga tayo. And the way that you can do this is if you know and if you are reading. Okay? Don't stop them because sinabi ni Ma'am Tina or sinabi ni Ma'am Tess, but you must know how to read. The employee must be guilty of an actual and willful breach of duty duly supported by substantial evidence. Okay? Next, reminder na naman tayo, in termination cases, the burden of proof rests on the employer, not the employee. So once na nagdole po kayo, you will now be on defensive and you must prove talaga that that person must be terminated. And yet, 2/3 of the cases are won by employees. 1/3 of the case is still won by employers. So for those na magaling mag-HR, hindi ibig sabihin na dole kayo, matatalo kayo kasi laging pabor si dole ng empleyado. That's not true. Depende pa rin yan on the burden of proof. And if you have proper documentation, do not be afraid. Okay lang na pasaway, okay lang na madole kayo, walang problema. Dole is pro-employee? Yes and no. Natatalo din ng empleyado. Pero you must make sure that you have documentation. Ang problema kasi sa mga HR, ayaw nilang magsulat. And ayaw nating mag-file and mag-document. Pag nangyari po yun, sigurado talo po tayo kahit na mali ng empleyado. So always follow due process. When there is an offense, make sure there is the first notice. If you're going to terminate, have the administrative hearing, although that is not required. Better, pag magta-terminate kayo, may admin hearing kayo. And lastly, may notice of decision. A lot of employers do not have notice of decision anymore. Nandun lang sila hanggang admin hearing. If that's the case, hindi po tayo nagpa-follow ng due process kasi hindi na-follow ang twin notice rule. And ensure, when you terminate, make sure there is an offense. Make sure that the offense is terminable. Kasi a lot of people are terminating. Kunyari, for example, office, meron kayong meron kayong mga empleyado, meron silang romance. Nag-boyfriend at girlfriend. Okay? And then, yung boyfriend and girlfriend, yung lalaki may asawa na anak. Can you terminate them? Can you terminate them? Okay, isa pa yan ha. Depending on off policy ba, can you terminate them? If you terminate them, is it legal or illegal? Sige nga. Impress me. Kaya niyo yan. Magshota, kabet, may asawa na yung lalaki, can you terminate? Eh, tsaka ang BPO, ang dami dun. Sobrang dami niyan sa BPO. Can you actually terminate a person for having an affair with each other? Sabi ni Carlos, no po. Okay? Sabi ni Christine, yes po. Okay? Legal if the while file a case. Joy says, if lumapit yung asawa ng lalaki, vowsy, pwede i-file. Sino magfa-file? Si company or si employee? You have to be very careful. Personal issues ng employee, labas tayo. Vowsy, labas tayo. Meron akong mga asawa na tumawag sa akin, nagmamakaawa kung pwede yung sahod daw ng asawa nila, mapunta na lang daw sa kanila, hindi daw sa asawa, kasi hindi nagbabayad ng child support sa asawa. Again, your employee is the person that you hired, not the spouse. Okay? And you have to be very careful with terminating employees because of made-up rules. Because of made-up rules. Sa akin, words of thought, walang problema mag-terminate. Basta hindi magdole. Pero pag nagdole ng empleyado, malalaman mo kung tama yung ginawa mo or hindi. So before you terminate an employee, always consider, reconsider, think, and rethink. Okay? Don't always terminate kasi nabubwisit kayo sa staff. Then, even if may vowsy si company, walang problema. Pero I'm just saying lang, you have to be very careful with terminating and you must make sure that the offense is substantial and terminable. Kasi a lot of HRs, ay, twin notice rule, ay, may due process na tayo. Sige, pwede natin terminate. Be very careful. Kasi pag nagdole, dyan natin talaga malalaman kung tama yung ginawa ninyo or hindi. At once na nag-terminate na po kayo, you have to defend yourself. And not always all the time because you follow due process, legal yung termination ninyo. Okay? So that's my warning. So next. So you already know this, the first notice, and then the admin hearing, and then the second notice to explain. So very carefully, these employees are usually entitled to a reinstatement and back wages plus moral damages. So you have to be very careful about termination cases. Okay? Hindi yan, I'm not saying do not terminate. I terminate a lot of employees, but just make sure that you're in the right and they are in the wrong. Okay? The reason why I give you all these examples is I want to show you for you to be a competent HR, you don't need to know about the buzzwords. You don't need to be the top of your class. You don't need to be the best at your thesis. But what you need to know is you need to have that hunger for wisdom and competency. Dapat pagpasok nyo sa trabaho, ready na kayong mag-produce ng output. Alam ninyo kung anong gagawin ninyo. At pag hindi ninyo alam, marunong kayong maghanap ng sagot. Ulit natin ha. To be a competent HR, you just need to know what you are doing. And if you don't know, you will find out. And lastly, once you find out, you get back to the person who is asking. Kasi the problem with many HRs right now is number 1 and number 2 and number 3. Meron sa akin nagtatanong, ma'am, paano mag-compute ng 13th month pay? Okay lang magtanong. The problem is, it's the HR na nagtatanong sa akin and tatlo sila nagtatanong kasi in one team po sila. Right? It's a big problem if you are the HR of a company and you're in a team of 3 and you do not know how to compute 13th month pay. What is more of a problem is that information is freely available on the internet. And yet, you want to ask me kasi you do want to do the research. You want to ask me because you feel that it's better for you to just ask. Madali lang kasi magtanong eh, paano po gawin to versus mag-research at saka magbasa. Naaawa po ako sa mga empleyado ng mga HRs na tamad mag-research at saka tamad na maghanap ng sagot kasi nandyan po lahat ng sagot. All the information is available. Let me remind everyone. Dole website and is now online. They have their own Facebook page. Please like and subscribe their Dole page, the NLRC page, the Bureau of Work, BOWC. Please like and subscribe as well. Please also, you can download the Labor Code of the Philippines. That should be your Bible. The Worker Statutory and Monetary Benefits Handbook. Okay. The Law Field Project Philippine Law and Jurisprudence Data Bank. So what I usually do, for example, is pag kunyari, meron akong isang sexual harassment case, okay, na nangyayari between an employee and the boss. So what I will do is I will type in sexual harassment, and then I will type termination, and then press enter. And I will read kung anong lumalabas dyan. Okay? So for example, if I want to know if if a person who went AWOL can be terminated, I will write absence without leave or AWOL and then termination, and then look for jurisprudence. And then babasahin ko talaga yung jurisprudence na yun, because the details of the case is very important. Hindi bigla nag-AWOL ang staff, terminable offense na siya. So there are many other details that is included in the case that is relevant on whether you should terminate or not. Always, please like and subscribe the Philippine HR Group. It's now the largest online what do you call it, Facebook group. It has 63,000 members. And what I usually do is, pag hindi ko alam yung sagot sa tanong, notification. And I will read through the answers of people more experienced than I am. And through this, I learn. Okay? I hope you guys do that as well. Next, Google. If you want to look at clause, for example, in the non-compete clause Philippines, and you can read the jurisprudence and the different rules on that. Always verify. Okay? I'm talking about work from home, flexibility, cloud-based systems, and virtual onboarding. Kasi naging uso ngayon yan recently because of the many lockdowns. About what has been happening in COVID-19. Ito yung tanong ko sa inyo. Uso po ang ganyang setup ngayon sa work. That is very much true. Yung mga uso ng hybrid, work from home. Here's the question kayo. Pag mag-a-apply kayo ng trabaho, gusto ba ninyo work from home or not? Gusto ba ninyo work from home or not? Sabihin mo, yes, work from home, or no, work from home. Yes, work from home. Work from home po, yes. Sabi ni Margarita, not. Half po, sabi ni Christine, Ma'am Tina. Yes, work from home. Tanong ko sa inyo, bakit gusto niyo mag-work from home? Beverly, yes, work from home. Bakit? COVID. So, next. Pwede po kahit di naliligo. Convenient po. Here's the question. Imagine HR manager kayo, right? Tapos, you're working in a company. You were given if you want to work from home, or you want to have a hybrid, or you want to report to the office. Most employees would rather have work from home, right? Kunyari, HR manager kayo. May nakawan sa company. How will you investigate when you're working from home? Dan says no work from home. Diba? Paano kunyari magpagagawa kayo ng payroll? Sasandan kayo ng DTR. Paano ibig sa inyo? Scan copy? Okay? I mean, it's practical. I'm talking about it practically. Gagawa kayo ng DTR, right? Magka-compute kayo ng DTR. Magagawa kayo ng payroll. Do you know how hard it is to look, and you'll get your iPad or your iPhone, and then you have to look at the DTR one by one, or you have to look at the Excel, right? Okay, fine. Timekeeping, correct. Okay, what if, for example, automated na timekeeping yung Excel na binigay sa inyo? Paano, pag may tanong kayo kay manager kung paano mag-compute, for example, double holiday. Kasi may holiday yata, I think December 8, na holiday siya with the Immaculate of Mary, and then meron pang isang Bulacan or Pampanga holiday. How do you compute for that? Saan kayo magtatanong? Sa manager nyo, di ba? Kasi ang assumption, alam na niyo kung paano gumawa. Pag gumagawa kayo ng payroll, for example, at may tatanungin kayo kay manager, anong gagawin nyo? Tatawagan ninyo, email niyo, or i-messenger ninyo? Diba? Mabilis? Na yun. Pag wala pa sagot ni manager, matatapos kayo sa payroll? Syempre hindi. Mag-aantayan kayo. There are many limitations to work from home. And honestly, for me, especially when you are an HR where you have to talk to so many other employees and you're creating a culture, for personally for me, I physically report to the office because I can do my job very, very well. And it is way easier for me to recognize and promote people who are excellent when I actually see them working. All right? Okay? And for example ha, mag-i-interview kayo, maghanap kayo ng trabaho, tapos binigyan kayo ng option to report sa office and work from home. Pag sinabi niyo work from home kayo, mas lamang, sino ba ang mas maha-hire? Yung person na mag-report sa office or yung person na gusto mag-work from home? Preferred. The person who is, okay, ganito yun. The person who is asked to physically report in the office can always do work from home, but usually the ones who are requesting for work from home, ang isip ng recruitment manager, hindi na masyado mag-report sa opisina kasi malayo sa bahay niya. Okay? Fun tip when you're looking for a job. Willing sabi ko, yes, willing mag-offsite. When you apply for a job, make sure that you emphasize that you are willing to physically report in the office. Kasi if you say, for example, that you only want work from home, you might already strike yourself out. Hirap talaga mag-train sa tao, lalo na those who are working from home, will find a job, but it is a little bit harder to keep that job and to be promoted and to be regularized kasi people don't see you. Make sure when you do work from home, there is a work from home agreement before you start. Performance management assessment must also, yung KPI niyo dapat clear. You must also reconsider the company culture and team collaboration. There's many companies who do work from home correctly, but there's a lot of other companies who screw that up. How do you become excellent when your boss sees you? And you have to think about how to stay relevant in a huge organization without the proper training. And it's easier talaga to do training face-to-face than to do it online. So there's many things that it's hard to do, hard to teach when it is online. Something to consider is from home is always very positive. It's so nice. I want to do work from home. A lot of lawyers say na, oh, work from home is good. Say they want employees to apply to them. But it's not always as to why bakit naging uso yung work from home na yan. Okay? Nagsimula ang COVID-19 pandemic in 2020 and it has changed the Philippine labor landscape. Nagsimula po yan noong January 12, 2020 nung nag-erupt yung Taal volcano. Ever since that time, napakamalas talaga ng Pilipinas, tuloy talaga malas natin hanggang ngayon, 2022 na. COVID-19 actually struck us in January 30 of 2020. Reviewing to you guys what happened for the last 2 years, kung ano nangyari. It started when the first case of COVID-19 in the Philippines was reported on January 30, 2020. Okay? Nang talaga knew about the pandemic. Kasi on February 1, the first patient who was mainland Chinese passed away. But at that time, nobody really cared because COVID-19 was still never in our at that time. I still remember everybody was still very excited. The economy was at a high. A property in MOA cost around was being 280,000 pesos per square meter. Ganun kataas po yung property price at that time. Okay? The Taal volcano eruption, Dole Labor Advisory number 1 series of 2020 was issued, and Dole said, there is work, you must be paid. If you work, you must be paid, but if you are on work, you must not be paid. if we would notice, this labor advisory is very important, especially in the last 2 years where so many people were under lockdown and there is no work, no pay. Without this reminder, lalong magkakagulo po sa Pilipinas, mag-aaway po kasalanan ng employee pag siya nagkasakit at nasa bahay lang. But it's very good that on January 2020, DOLE issued this labor advisory, reminding everyone about no work, no pay rule. Lifesaver ka to sa maraming mga kumpanya kasi wala po ito, maraming kumpanya po ang nagsara. The next advisory was issued on January 31, 2020. Okay, which is one day after the first COVID case in the Philippines was identified. Dito po, naglabas po si DOLE ng guidelines, ng mga minimum health guidelines po natin. And pinaka-importante, nagbigay po siya ng notice na there is no employer liability when a staff gets COVID. Meaning to say, if a person has SSS and PhilHealth, the employer is not liable for any of the costs from the diagnosis up until to the recovery. Again, this is one of the most important labor advisories that saved the lives of many Filipino companies. Okay. Next, there is also the DOLE Labor Advisory number 9, which reminded employers that they can do flexible work arrangements, such as reduction of work hours, rotation of workers, forced leave. A lot of you think flexible work arrangement is good because your professor says so. But personally, for the labor workforce in the Philippines, flexible work arrangement is not a good thing. Not a good patient died of severe pneumonia. On March 16, ECQ happened. And nag-lockdown ang Pilipinas for 2.5 months. Sorry, not Filipinas, Luzon for 2.5 months. From March 16, 2020 up until May 15, 2020, nag-lockdown po tayo. Kawawa ang mga graduates at that time because sabi ng Labor Advisory number 14 and 14B, if you are under community quarantine and on lockdown, hindi po kasama yung hour down sa 180 days. So there were a lot of graduates who found it difficult to find or keep a job. Marami pong naipit sa lockdown, hindi na regular. In May 1, 2020, in preparation for the MECQ, the government issued minimum health protocol we are familiar in right now. And in August 15, they also issued the same. Most importantly, yung mga buntis, tsaka mga seniors na po nila pinapasok, okay? And strongly encouraged to give work from home, but not mandated. So dito po nagsimula lahat na, and we are still following these rules up until today. Again, start of MECQ, the government, makulit ang gobyerno, they reminded us about the flexible work arrangements. And ito po yun. And then on August 9, 2020, they once again reminded us na pwede tayong ano yung mga different flexible work arrangements na pwede gawin ng employer. Dito rin, nagsulat po ang gobyerno na pwede nyo siyang gawin so long as pumayag yung employee. So, in order for you to issue flexible work arrangement, you must inform DOLE that you want to do so. A lot of employers did not get consent. Kaya nung nag-constructive dismissal, nag-file po ang mga employee ng constructive dismissal case against them, marami po ang natalo na employer kasi po hindi po nagbabasa ng HR ito po sa Section 6 reporting requirement. Flexible work arrangement is not automatic. There must be consent. Okay? DOLE encourage all of these flexible work arrangement, telecommuting, compressed work week, transfer of employees, assignments of employees to other branch, reduction of work days, rotation of workers, partial closure of establishment, forced leave, and broken time schedule. As you can see here, they're not good. Bakit? Because if, for example, if you transfer an employee from one branch to the next kasi nagkaroon ng COVID infection sa isang branch at sarado po yung branch na yon, mas malayo po yung pamasahe. Okay? Pag ayaw mo tumanggap, wala kang trabaho, floating ka muna. Pag floating ka, no work, no pay. If you assign another person in a position, so an HR manager will do the job of a sales staff or a sales manager, obviously hindi naman alam po ng tao na yon kung paano bumenta. So marami pong nagkaka-issue kasi yung tao na yun hindi nila kayang gawin yung other jobs. And may memo po sila for neglect of duty. So nag-aaway po ang maraming employer at employee kasi hindi po nagtutugma yung skill set ng tao. Reduction of work days as well. If you reduce the work days ng mga 1 to 2 days, ang laki pong impact isang tao. And yet, Dole proposed all of this to save jobs. Kasi sa totoo lang, because of COVID-19, it has really severely impacted the economy and a lot of employers experience a significant of sales. Marami kasing tao, maraming employers ang nag-hire na maraming tao. So ang nangyayari is in order to save their jobs, all of these flexible work arrangements were given para lang hindi matanggal yung tao. I can tell you, ang dami kawawa 2020 and 2021. Kasi, how do you say it? They were entering in a very, very harsh environment where there were not a lot of headcount available. So many companies were retrenching and making things redundant. And here's the thing. Tingin mo, marami pa rin bang nag-resign ng December? Lasal, do you think, after nakuha yung 13th month pay, were there still a lot of employees who resigned after they received their 13th month pay or their bonuses in January? Sige nga, marami bang nag-resign or hindi? Sipin nyo, wala, ang dami ng nagtatanggal na tao, ang hirap maghanap ng trabaho, may COVID-19 pandemic na, ang hirap maghanap ng bagong trabaho. Tingin nyo, marami bang nag-resign in 2020 and 2021? Hindi po, sabi ni Margarita, sabi ni Dui, hindi po. You know what's funny? Marami pa rin nag-resign. Marami pa rin nag-awol. Marami pa rin nag-immediate resignation. If you are an active member of the HR group, you will see talaga ang dami nag-immediate resignation at saka marami pa rin nag-aawol kahit na may pandemya. Okay? Anong masasabi talaga natin? Pilipino talaga. Kahit na may pandemic, kahit na maraming nagtatanggalan, ang mga taong may trabaho, iniiwan pa rin ang trabaho kasi hindi raw sila masaya at para sa kanilang mental health. Which just shows for me, it's bad, but it's not that bad. And sa totoo lang, ang dami pong mga empleyado natuwa lalo na from Dole Camp, took efforts to ensure na hindi nagutom po ang Pilipino. And during the times of lockdown, many Filipino workers or many indigenous people found that they could get free ayuda from their DSWD, from SSS, from their employers, etc., etc., etc. Even if may pandemya tayo, it's bad, but it's not that bad kasi ang dami pa rin nagsasalisan sa trabaho as if so again, telecommuting. Okay, I'll go through because I don't have that much time. Apparently, I only have 15 minutes. Compressed work week is when dati 6 days a week ka, pero ngayon 5 days a week ka na lang. Si Dole gumawa nito. Dati 5 days a week sila, pero during the pandemic, they did 4 days lang. Pero mas mahaba yung oras. Walang overtime pay. Okay? Transfer of employees to another branch, we did that. Meron kami mga staff naglakad ng 1 hour to and fro work kasi talagang walang public transportation in 2020. Pero sumipot pa rin sila. So we're very thankful to our staff. Transfer to another branch or outlets. Reduction of work days and work week. Okay? Rotation of workers. Uso ngayon yan, especially na ngayon sa COVID. closure of establishments, forced leave. Okay, so those na may sakit had to use their leave credits. And broken time schedule. Alam po ninyo yan, di ba? So effects on compensation, no work, no pay. And there's proportionate reduction to pay if you are absent. Okay? All you have to do is inform DOLE at reports@dole.gov.ph that so many employers did not do. Kaya po, marami sa kanila natatalo ng termination case kasi nakakalimutan nilang mag-inform kay DOLE. Gawa lang sila ng gawa ng policy, reklamo, doon talaga makikita kung tama yung ginawa nila or hindi. Once again, I remind everyone, COVID-19 testing and PPE cannot be charged to the staff. And vaccines are free. You cannot discriminate to the unvaccinated. However, basahin po natin ha. Kasi right now, pag wala kang bakuna, bawal po kayong sumakay ng public transpo. Bawal po kayo pumasok sa building. Bawal po kayo pumasok sa mall. A lot of people are saying it is unconstitutional, correct? Do you guys agree or not? Do you guys agree or not? Tama po ba? Pwede, ano pong mangyayari, for example, if you have a staff tapos hindi pa po siya bakunado? Pwede niyo po ba siyang hindi papapasukin sa trabaho? Question. Is it a human rights issue or not? Here's the question. Sige nga. Lasal? No discriminate. We cannot discriminate, sabi ni Mark. Next. Sino pa? We cannot discriminate. Human rights issue, sabi niya Avenante. Berberlin says human rights issue po. Mga university students kayo no? But I'd like to show you, for example, the IATF says na, the rules here says na the public and private establishment shall not allow entry. Okay? The building shall not allow entry. Is it a human rights issue? Sa company po namin, pag hindi vaccinated, bawal lang mag-work. Sa company namin, pag hindi makapasok ng building, bawal mag-work. Kasi wala kami from home eh. Do you get it? You're saying it's a human rights issue. It's not a human rights issue. The problem here is those who are unvaccinated cannot ride the public transport. They cannot enter a private or public building. Okay? It is not me who is not asking them to stop working. It is the building who is refusing them entry. And if you cannot refuse entry, and I need you to work, I am sorry, but you cannot come in. And if there is no work done, there is no pay. I'm sharing with you this because being an HR and being a university student is different. Okay? There's no mandatory vaccine law to implement the rule, sabi ni Duy. If the staff complains, they can complain sa DOLE. Here's the question. Papapasok sila ng DOLE? I'm sharing with you this kasi sometimes at school, it's so easy to say things like human rights, right to choose. But at the same time, when you are in the HR field, you have to be very practical and you have to ask yourself whether what your employees are complaining about is reasonable or not. Sa akin, sa mga tao ko, kasi may tao are working in the mall. Hindi sila pwedeng makapasok kasi hindi sila papapasukin ng mall pag wala po silang vaccination cards. Okay? Hindi po ako yung ayaw sa kanilang pumasok, pero yung mall po ang nagbabawas sa kanilang pumasok. No vaccination, no entry. And the mall can do that because they are a private establishment and they can come up with any rule that they want. It is the same when you live in a condo. If you live in a condo, you have to abide with the house rules of the administrative office. You know that, right? Pero at the same time, when you operate in the mall, it is still a private entity. And hence, you must follow private rules. Yes? So even if there is no mandatory vaccination law, you have to follow the rules of the establishment. And if the government says public and private establishment cannot allow people who are unvaccinated to come in, if they cannot report, no work is done. And hence, if the work is done, then there is no pay. And that is the difference between an HR in the field and somebody who is speaking. There is no hard and fast rule. Okay? Just a reminder to everyone, my answer to this is flexible work benefit truly a benefit? The answer is it can be initially, but on the long run, it's not. Especially if you are an HR manager and if you're managing employees, it's not easy to manage employees who are working from home. So I strongly do believe that people will eventually return to physically working in the office. Kasi I know a lot of employees, ang ginagamit po nila yung brick. Alam mo yung brick? What they do is they use a brick, they log online, they put a brick on the keyboard, they pretend they're actually working. Tapos sabihin nila yung video, wala po silang video kasi sira daw, walang internet, whatever, ek. But sa totoo lang, they're actually not working because I know they are going to the grocery, they're sleeping, they're taking care of the kids. Flexible work arrangement works for some companies, but in many companies in the Philippines, it's not kasi totoo lang, pasaway ang Pilipino. And if you are the HR manager, kawawa po kayo. Okay? Lastly, I want to talk about respect. Because the workplace diversity, employee experience, well-being, and mental health, I want you guys to forget all these buzzwords and focus more about how are you as an HR. Okay? How well respected are you today? In your class, in your school, di ba may group project po kayo, right? Group project ng 5 people, right? Pag nag-group yourself kayo, aminin ninyo, sinong gumagawa ng report? Ulitin ko ha, may group project kayo, sinong gumagawa ng report? Out of the 5, ilan ang gumagawa? Kasi usually, ayaw magagaling. Sabi nito, yung leader. Sabi ni Cristel, 2 or 1 po. Tama po kayo. Sa school, maraming freeloaders. Anong ibig sabihin ng freeloader? Yung taong walang gumagawa kasi meron daw silang trabaho o may inaalagaan silang anak or what. Tapos later on, pero pag magpa-pass the test ka, lalagay mo pangalan nila. Right? Okay. My question to you is, you are going to school because you are paying tuition. When you are working, does the company that you are working for pays you? Okay? When you work and you enter the workforce, you can't do this shit anymore. Okay? Ulitin ko ha. Yung mga leaders, hindi ko na kailangan kausapin. You'll do very well at work. If sa school, lagi kayo gumagawa ng homework, lagi kayo gumagawa ng thesis, lagi kayo nagsasubmit ng paper, wala akong problema. I'm sure you will be hired. Okay? At kahit wala kayong job offer, basta magtiyaga lang po kayo, makakahanap talaga kayo ng trabaho. Ang kausap ko ngayon, yung mga freeloaders. Kasi meron sa inyo ang freeloaders. Okay lang maging freeloader kayo sa school. Pero pagdating ninyo sa trabaho, wag na kayo mag-freeload. At school, you pay the school for tuition for you to learn. When you work, your work pays you a salary, okay, for you to do a job. Okay? Gets nyo? Natututo na kayo sa trabaho, binabayaran pa kayo. So you better make sure when you start working, you better make sure that you are learning at the job and you do the work. Kasi if you do not do the work, if you continue to freeload as you are doing today, okay? That's why my title is How Well Respected Are You Today? If that is the case, mahirapan kayo sa HR. Because in HR, you need to do the work and you need to be well respected. And for you to be respect, it's not to earn. It's not, a lot of people are saying the best way to earn respect is to treat others with respect. I strongly disagree with this statement. Kasi hindi lahat ng mababait nirerespeto. Likewise, hindi lahat ng mababait na jowa pinapakasalan, right? It's usually the bad boys, yung mga pasaway, yun yung pinapakasalan, yun yung sinusyota, yung mga sexy, mga exciting, yung mga magaganda, yun yung gustong-gusto ng mga lalaki. Correct? Good people are hard to find, but the way to earn respect is not by being super nice. If you're super nice as an HR, you will not earn respect. People will disrespect you. Instead, what you need to do is you need to be good at what you do. You need to do what you say. You have to be nice when you're doing it. And I'm telling you this because you do not need to be an HR manager. You do not need to be hired to be respected. I'm telling you this because I hope that you will be respected today. If you are a freeloader today, if you are a freeloader in your relationship, if you are a freeloader in your life, stop being a freeloader and start being a leader and start having a habit wherein people respect you for being good at what you do. Because if you start with that habit today, when you find a job and you're in HR, you already have the skills on how to be a very good HR. Okay? Nasanay ka na maging magaling sa lahat ng ginagawa po ninyo. Nasanay ka na kung sinabi mo, for example, na gagawin mo, matatapos po ninyo. At masasanay ka na marunong ka mag-handle ng mga taong pasaway tulad ng mga groupmates ninyong mga freeloaders. And when you have that habit, I have very much strong confidence that regardless on how difficult the economy is, kahit na makonti lang ang trabaho ng HR, I'm pretty sure madali po kayo makakahanap ng trabaho. At pag makahanap kayo ng trabaho, pag magaling sa ginagawa mo, pag ginagawa mo yung sinasabi mo at marunong ka makipaghalubilo sa mga kasama mo, I am very, very, very sure tataas din ang sweldo ninyo because you will be respected. Okay? And it starts today. Last words. As I've mentioned before, ito yung palusot ng mga companies, public and private establishment, will accommodate only fully vaccinated individuals and can validly refuse entry or deny service to individuals. If you do not want to be vaccinated, okay lang, so long as you have a medical clearance issued by a municipal health office, city health office, or provincial health office. If not, you have to be antigen twice. A lot of employees, for example, pasaway, ayaw nilang magpakbakuna kasi daw they say daw meron daw some sort of parang 666 or something on the vaccine, or parang it's some sort of like a very big scandal or something. Put it this way, you don't argue with your employees, right? Pero here's the thing. If you have employees like that who insist on their rights, my question is, if you are a good HR, you should not deal with these employees pag may problema na. Dapat, matagal mo nang alam, matigas ang ulo ng mga yan. So ang tanong ko sa mga HRs, ano ba kasi ginagawa ng mga employees na yan sa inyo? Bakit hanggang ngayon hindi nyo pa tinatanggal? Right? Again, the rules are very clear. Okay lang naman na walang bakuna, basta may medical clearance. Kung talaga may sakit ang tao, makakakuha po talaga siya ng medical clearance sa isang public health provider, or pag ayaw po talaga niya, pwede siyang mag-submit ng anti-test. 950 lang po siya. No vaccine, no entry na po ngayon sa Pasig, Metro Manila, sa buong Metro Manila, sa Cebu is now following suit. And today, latest chika, DOLE Labor Advisory number 1, series of 2022 says, DOLE is urging employers to pay for quarantine isolation leave for workers. Last thoughts ko po. Do you think the employer should pay for quarantine and isolation leave? Ayan Bagong labas yan today, mga 4 hours ago lang yan. Do you think employers should pay? If you are the HR manager of a company, should the employer pay? Sabi ni Romel, sakit po ng bulsa na yan. Hindi yan yung tanong ko. Ang tanong ko should kunyari HR manager ka. Tanong sa'yo ng manager mo, tanong sa'yo ng boss mo, should we pay for quarantine or not? Ano ba itong mga Romel? Sabi ni RC, may advantage or disadvantage. Sabi ni Patricia, it depends. Mares, pares, huwag kayong sumagot ng para safe, ha? Sabi ni Mark Philip, yes. Sabi ni Margarita, depende siguro sa nature of work. JB, sabi dito, beyond SSS, Dole is urging employers to pay. Sabi ni RC, yes. Sige nga. HR. Sana po sagot ng employer kasi mahirap na po. Minimum wage earner lang empleyado. Again, let me remind you, you're the HR manager of the company. Your employer is asking you, should we pay for quarantine or isolation leave for workers or not? What should you say? Basahin niyo na mabuti ha, testo. Lahat ng pinag-usapan natin, ito yung application. Dapat ba bayaran or hindi? Siguro yes, kasi we're facing the pandemic. Here's my answer. You guys are living in Metro Manila, right? How many percent is the effectivity rate of Omicron? Okay, close call. I mean, it's a bank, right? China banks also closed in many malls. Many companies are closed. If you start paying for quarantine, here's the question. How long should you pay for the quarantine? Is it 7 days? Is it 10 days? Is it 14 days? Next, if you agree to pay for quarantine, what is your guarantee that after the 14th day, tama Michael, 14 days, diba? Binabayaran nyo full pay. Tingin mo, pag binayaran nyo yung full pay, pag kunyari, after 14 days, 15 days na, makakabalik ba yung tao na yon on the 15th day? Will they return? If the home quarantine is paid for, do you think the employees would want to report to work? That is a separate problem for the HR. Kasi, you cannot schedule people, for example, you're in manufacturing, you're in 7 days, 10 days, severe pwedeng 14 days. What if sinabi ng mild mo, moderate siya? What if sinabi ng, you know what I mean? Like, are you gonna pay for 7 days or 10 days or 14 days? And if the person says, for example, sir, kasi meron akong ganito, hindi pa ako makabalik ng trabaho, babayaran nyo pa rin ba yung quarantine niya? Kasi konti pa siyang ubo. Do you get what I mean? It's so easy to say yes. But be very careful when you talk to your boss. When you make a recommendation, pinag-isipan po ninyo lahat ng factor ng sagot nyo. Okay? Again, quarantine. How many days? 7, 10, 14, or 21? Second, how much to pay? Full pay, half pay, 25%. Next, how can you protect yourself? Kasi marami. RT-PCR is what? 3,000 pesos. So a lot of people might say they're sick and they're at home. And they have COVID symptoms. When do you pay? When they're positive in antigen, when they're positive in RT-PCR, when they're positive in this. Do you understand? It's so easy for you to say you want to pay because you are in the feet of the minimum wage worker. The HR manager wants a policy that is favorable to the employee because you are also the employee. Positive sa RT-PCR. Paano kunyari later on after 14 days, positive pa rin siya? Do you know what I mean? I'm saying all these kasi when I ask, it's a trick question. A lot of people, all of you will say yes because your parents are workers. You are working in a company and you are an employee. But the answer of yes has many, many things that you need to factor in. Okay? For me, personally, being the HR manager of the company, I'm not gonna pay for isolation or quarantine because I know once I do that, I will have a lot of gray areas. Gray areas. If you pay for one, you have to pay for all. And if you pay now, later on, 1 year later, meron pa rin COVID. Because it's now endemic. Will you still pay? If you pay now, you have to pay forever. Okay? And you need to make sure it is sustainable. And if it's unsustainable, you have to fire people. What if yung tao na, meron last year, meron akong staff, 3 beses nagkaroon ng COVID. Okay? He got COVID in April, he got COVID again in August, and he got COVID again in January. Should you pay for his 14 times 3 days? Ilang days yun? Ilang days yun? You know what I mean? And if, for example, you pay for quarantine and isolation, you have to pay consistently across all. You cannot pay 7 days today, and then the next time nagka-COVID, 3 days na lang. The policy has to be very clear. That is the reason why I don't pay. Because if there is a lockdown, give ayuda. If there's no lockdown, I do not want to incentivize people to not report to work. I want to incentivize people to report to work. That's why I don't have a problem with attendance. And I share with you this example as a finishing thought to prove to you guys that it's not easy to be an HR. And it's sometimes you are given questions kasi na walang tama or walang maling sagot. Pero sa akin here's the key. The answer here is in the word urged. Employers are urged. That means it's not mandated. If I was the boss, okay, and tinanong ko sa aking HR if dapat ba bayad yung quarantine or hindi, and I have like 1,000 people, and if the HR manager says, obviously boss, kasi sabi ng dole, babayaran daw, I don't think I'll promote that HR. Kasi number one, hindi siya nag-iisip, and number two, hindi niya alam kung anong sinasabi niya. Okay? Because these things require a lot of thought. Also be very careful when giving answers. A lot of you gave me answers na parang yes or no, depends sa sitwasyon. No, no, no. As an HR manager, managing a lot of responsible for the lives of many people, servicing the company and servicing the employees. Do not do things halfway. When you do things, pag-isipan nyo ng maayos, pag-aralan ninyo ng mabuti, at pag-isipan ninyo, kung ginawa ko to, ano pwede mangyari? Kung ginawa ko naman yung ibang, ano naman pwede mangyari? You need to make sure you think responsibly because buhay to ng tao. Sahod to ng tao. And when you make a decision, you need to really, really think about it. And I think that's what differentiates me with many HRs. Kasi bago ako maggawa ng something, pinag-iisipan ko muna. And I tell a lot of HRs, be very careful with what you say because you're always being assessed. And if you are too quick in saying, yes, kailangan bayaran ng quarantine, that's probably the reason why you're not a very good, bakit hindi ka na-promote? Kasi sometimes, masyado kang naawa sa employee, hindi mo naisip yung panig ng employer. And at the end of the day, pag masyado kayong kukuha ng maraming benefits sa employer mo, please do not be surprised pag yung company nagsara. Okay? So there. So it's not easy to be an HR because you're dealing with people and people are unpredictable. Okay? And the last one is, do you have what it takes to be a good HR? Make sure knowledge makes you brave and experience makes you wise. So please make sure that when you are already working in the HR field, learn from your job. And we're very lucky na habang tayo nagtatrabaho, binabayaran tayo. Kasi sa totoo lang, 'Di ba nag-aral ako sa Ateneo, nagtrabaho ako sa abroad, pero it's only when I started working in the Philippines and I started managing Filipinos that I learned the most. Kapwa Pilipino, kasi talaga, kung hindi ka talaga ang tali-talino talaga ng Pilipino. At pag hindi ka marunong mag-adjust, hindi ka marunong mag-aral, hindi ka marunong makipag-usap sa kanila, grabe, ang galing talaga na, napakapasaway talaga. Okay? So if you know that you're doing the right things, you will have the confidence to know what to say when people give you the hard questions. Right? I'm not going to ask you anymore. So in short, what makes you special? Be special. Don't be a freeloader. Start being respected today. So again, my name is Khoe Ang. Please like and subscribe my blog. I did not, I did not update it as much because my father-in-law passed away of COVID in December. Okay? So may personal issue din. So even if sabihin natin na parang Omicron na ngayon, meron pa rin talagang namamatay. Ma'am, bakit ka why can you come out and why can you present? Well, you know, COVID-19 is here. Hindi naman po siya mabubuhay pag ako'y hindi nakapag-move on. You know what I mean? So we move on, okay? So please, for everyone who has watched, if you want to thank me for your time, please subscribe in my blog. There's a place there where you can subscribe, and you can also like and follow my page. I'm also very active at the Philippine HR group, and please watch the HR Cafe every Sunday, 3 to 5 p.m. We do have talks of different guest speakers. Admittedly, not all guest speakers are great, but as I've said, libre naman matuto, di ba? So habang kayo'y nag-aaral pa at wala pa kayong anak, wala kayong masyadong maraming problema, gawin na ninyong lahat para mag-aral ngayon. Kasi sa totoo lang, pag may anak na po kayo, pag may trabaho na po kayo, pag may social life na po kayo, I mean, you will never have this much free time than today. So wag niyo pong sayangin tong opportunity na to. Tsaka later on, pag kunyari, what do you call it? When you get to the workforce, ang mga training mahal na. The training is around 15 grand to 25 grand. Ateneo's giving a leadership program for like 115 grand. Eh ngayon, medyo mura pa kasi estudyante kayo. So take advantage of this opportunity. All right? Open the floor to question and answer. Sorry, medyo na-late naman tayo nag-start di ba? So I'm opening the floor to questions and answers.
Ayan, thank you so much, Miss Tina, for your very fun and knowledgeable talk. I actually learned a lot from your talk na hindi talaga madaling maging HR, especially kailangan mo magkaroon ng good communication to others. Ayan yun. So, ma'am, gusto niyo pa po bang mag-entertain?
Yeah, go ahead, please. Oo, kasi nandito na rin tayo. And I feel that, give you credit, I think the LaSalle DASMA, the students here, knows a little bit more than many other schools.
Oh,
kasi pag nagtatanong ako, minsan ang daming mali-mali yung sagot. Okay, ganito, let me just test. Magkano minimum wage ng Maynila?
500.
500 what?
537.
537. Okay, pag 6 days work, magkano isang buwan? Hala. Magkano isang buwan pag 6 days of work? Ano daw?
13 plus. 13 plus.
Ano? 13 plus ano?
35
Hala. Ha? Magkano? Hala. I take it back. 13 what?
962.
Ayan. 13962. Alright. I'm open to 2 questions. Sige, go.
Okay.
12888. Sa ano na yan? Ibang lugar. Okay, go. Ask
Question
questions.
from Miss Tina ay galing kay Ma'am Tin. I mean kay Christine Raagas. So
Yeah.
ang question niya po ay, last year pa po yung offense. Pwede pa rin po bang bigyan ng manager ng NTE kung di po ako nagkamali, not to exceed date at disciplinary action?
Notice to explain, Miss Marge.
Yeah. Here's the question. I sa akin, if I were applying for if I was in that company and I'm the manager and I'm you. Pag nalalaman ko na yung kumpanya ganun yung patakaran, ang sarap magtrabaho sa kumpanyang yan. Bakit? Why is it very good to work for companies like this? Ibang work. Bakit? Kasi, sagutin ko na, kasi masyadong incompetent yung management. Masyadong incompetent ang management. If incompetent ang management, matatanggal at matatanggal din yung management na yan. Madaling magpakita na magaling ka sa isang kumpanya na hindi magaling yung management. And if you're working for a small to medium enterprise and ganun sila gumawa ng disciplinary action, madali kang mahalin ng boss mo at tumaas ang sweldo mo kasi talaga negligent yung mga tao sa kumpanyang yan. Rule of thumb, dapat pag kunyari may offense, you need to issue the incident report and notice to explain almost immediately after the offense. And then you give them 5 days to respond. If you don't respond, give them another incident report and notice to explain. If, for example, you enter into a company and that company does not have that habit, pero nangyari na po yun, you can actually issue an incident report and notice to explain that reference that in the past. But, dapat, meron na siyang naulit-ulit ngayon. Nagets mo? For example, dati yung tao na yon nag-undertime. Okay? Last year, September of 2021. Tapos, so what you're gonna do is, you're gonna write, tapos ulit, January, nag-undertime ulit siya, nahuli mo siya. You can actually make your incident report in NTE referencing what happened before and what happened today. You can do that. Pwede mo rin ihabol yung September para magsagot ng today. Pero sa akin lang, pwede mo namang gawin yan, pwede mong yan, but you cannot terminate the staff because of something that they've done in September. Do you know what I mean? Kasi medyo, you want to prevent the employee to feel na parang ginagawa mo lang NTE kasi pinag-iinitan mo sila. And sa totoo lang, parang you could have done it before nung may kasalanan pa, pero papagalitan mo ngayon kasi parang gusto mong siyang tanggalin. Don't do that. Do it for documentation and filing on 201, but don't do it as a way to terminate. Kasi so many companies do that. They don't issue, and then later on, parang what they're gonna do is, they're gonna collect everything, tapos pag kunyari gusto na lang tanggalin, sa kanila gagawa yung NTE. Don't do that. Sa akin, always make the incident report and NTE after every offense. It doesn't mean if you have an NTE, tatanggalin mo siya. And then pag marami na, dyan mo lang siya tatanggalin, referencing all the NTEs you have. So sa amin, usually pag nagtatanggal kami, mga 12 NTEs. Kasi sa amin, sales, di ba? So for example, pag hindi niya na-hit yung quota every 3 days, NTE yun. Tapos after that, next week, NTE na naman. So by the time na nagtanggal kami ng tao, may mga 11 NTEs na yung tao. Sobrang sanay sila mag-NTE. It's not a big deal to them anymore. Kasi we give it periodically. And it doesn't mean na if you give an NTE, tatanggalin mo na siya. A lot of HR managers, they give NTE kasi they want to issue a disciplinary action. Incident report and NTE just means incident report and notice to explain. Do you get what I mean? It is perfectly fine to issue an incident report and notice to explain so that you will just get an explanation for the incident and then just file it. Okay? Kasi minsan parang, ito, may tao kami, sales staff, shortage, $50. Kasi daw, mali yung calculate niya sa calculator, right? $50, paano mo tatanggalin $50? Kasi baka careless lang. Well, pag kunyari, this week, shortage of $50. Next week, shortage. Next month, shortage na naman ng $100. The next month, shortage na naman. You know what I mean? When a person does it over and over, it's no longer carelessness or neglect. It is already intentional. Same with lates. Pag lagi siyang late, pinagsabihan mo na, NTE ka ng NTE mo siya kasi gross and habitual late. So, habitual late, I'm telling you, 4 times ka na latest cut off, okay lang yan. Pero pag palagi kang late, nananadya ka na. Okay? Pag nananadya ng tao, dapat mo siyang tanggalin. Kasi kung hindi mo siya tinanggal, magkakaibang problema ka. Kasi ang pasaway na tao talaga, dapat talaga tanggalin sa isang company. Kasi once everyone follows the same rule, including the owners and the HR. Okay? And you need to be fair. If people can be on time, if people can hit their quotas, the others should too. You have to be fair, not just to the offending party, but to everybody else. Because you are not the HR of one, you are the HR of all. And if you do not discipline one, then you will have a problem of all. Gets nyo? So, very IR and TE. Make IR and TE a habit. And if you come into a company na hindi sanay mag-IR tsaka NTE, bigay lang. Pero ito one more thing. When you give an IR, kasi a lot of HR managers, they just give, they don't explain. Sa amin, whenever we give an IR, it comes with a smile. Oy, may love letter ka na naman today. O, sulat ka naman NTE. O, mababa na naman benta mo. We treat IRs and NTEs as a way to remind people of what they need to do. To remind them of the job that they have. Kunyari, for example, nahuli kang nagtitiktok sa trabaho. IR yun, NTE naman. Pero hindi ibig sabihin, matatanggal ka. We will just give it to them. Oh, record lang to, documentation lang to na nahuli ka nagtitiktok sa trabaho kaysa whatever you're doing. It doesn't mean na binigyan ka namin ng IR, tatanggalin ka namin. Pero pare, pwede ba tigil-tigilan natin yung pagtitiktok? Many HRs don't like to talk to employees kasi nahihiya sila or natatakot sila kasi kausap nila senior. Gets? But if you do not talk to the employees and you just issue them an IR, babalik at babalik din sa'yo yung problema na yan. Kasi ang empleyado madaling kausapin. But if you do not give them proper respect and you do not talk to them and you do not explain where you're coming from when you issue that IR, trust me, magwawelga ang mga empleyado mo at mahihirapan ka. Always for me, when I issue an IR, may kasamang explanation and may kasamang smile. Ay, hindi, okay lang yan. Walang problema. Ipa-file ko lang naman yan. It's not a big problem. Huwag mo lang ulitin. Okay? Pag kunyari may nakawan, I also talk to the person itself kasi I want to know if that person really stole the item or victim lang siya na merong isang tao na naglagay ng orange sa bag niya. Gets? Kasi possible talaga sabihin niya, hindi ko kinuha yung pera pero parang nalaman ko lang yung pera nasa bag. Stuff like that. So for me to do my job, I need to talk to the person. And I hope that you guys will also want to talk to that person kasi it prevents problems in the long run. O ang haba ng sagot ko sa mga maliit na. Go ahead, ask me questions pa.
Okay, thank you po ma'am sa pagsagot ng question ni Miss Christine Raagas. Ito naman po, question po galing po kay Cindy Manlangit. So,
Go.
ang question niya po ay, possible po ba ma-promote ang employee kahit hindi na siya dumaan sa probationary period?
A lot of people, multinational companies don't believe in contract of probationary employment. Okay? A lot of them, di ba sa HR group na yung nakita tayo na parang possible ba na hindi na kailangan na probationary na gawing regular na lang? Okay? Yung mga ganyang employer, ang sarap maging employed sa ganong kasing company kasi wala silang masyadong alam sa HR. Tsaka hindi nila alam yung sa Pilipinas. Usually marami mga startups, mga venture capital, they open a company here and then they hire somebody who's like from abroad. Yung boss mo parang foreigner and located in Hong Kong or Singapore. And obviously sa kanila wala silang concept of security tenure, right? So what they're gonna do is pag-hire parang contract, regular contract na. Contract of probationary employment is there for a good reason. It's for them to test. Ang tanong ko lang sa inyo, balik ko yung tanong, are you guys willing to marry that person right off the bat? Diba? Same question. Okay, magshota kayo. Okay lang ba sa inyo magshota kayo tas kasal uli? If you really love that person, patay na patay ka sa tao, sobrang ganda, ayaw mo na mapakasalan siya ng tao, yes, papakasalan mo. But you place yourself at risk if you make the wrong choice. Okay? Kung tama yung choice mo, napakagaling niya. Kaya Catriona Gray, nagustuhan ka, niligawan mo, sinagot ka agad. Siyempre, gusto mo siyang pakasalan agad, diba? Kasi kung hindi mo siya pinakasalan, baka mapakawala siya. But the problem is if you actually regularize a person very quickly without assessing the capabilities of that person, you might be a victim. You will, kasi I hire so many people in a year. You will most likely be a victim of a person na hindi na magaling, mareklamo pa, pasaway sobra, at ang hindi ayaw pang umalis at kailangan mong tanggalin. And when you regular that person, pag tinanggal mo ang regular employee, madodole ka. Sigurado madodole ka. Kasi ulitin ko, hindi na nga magaling, pasaway, mareklamo, maraming sinasabi. Alam mo yun? Ayaw umalis, ayaw mag-resign. Gusto terminate kasi gusto separation pay. Eh, ikaw nga parang, why would I pay separation pay? I'm terminating it for just causes. And it's your fault if you don't have a contract of probationary kasi if you terminate if you terminate a regular employee, there is a very big chance you might do it incorrectly and you will be found guilty of illegal termination. So again, ang balik ko lang sagot kay Cindy is, papakasalan mo ba ang taong kakilala mo in 2 months or 3 months? Now do it 1,000 times. If you can handle the divorce, go ahead and do it. Pero for me, it's better to date before you get married. Okay? Yan ang tip ko sa inyo. Kasi when you date somebody, you will meet their friends, you will meet their family. When you hire somebody, you don't know anything about that person except for the things that the person shows to you from day one. Kahit na sinabi mong na background check nyo na, maraming nagpo-falsify ng background checks, diba? Maraming nagpo-falsify ngayon ng resumes. It's really hard. And if you're going to pay, make sure you are prudent and make sure if you are allowed to date. You have 6 months. Assess the person properly. Kasi if you do not assess them properly, kayo din ang magbabayad. And pag maraming dole case ang HR, ang natatanggal ang HR. Kasi siya talaga may problema na yan. Alright, next question.
Ayan, Miss Tina, thank you for the answer po. Doon na po mag-end ang aming Q&A for this. So, Miss Tina, we thank you po for your excellent presentation and for sharing your time. You have inspired and challenged a lot of students here to become a better HR person. It's really an honor to have you. Salamat po. And again, of course, recognizing the effort and time of Miss Tina, may we call once again Miss Arlen Joyce Hernandez, HRD 911 President, and the Project Manager of this event to award the Certificate of Appreciation to Miss Tina Khoe Ang.
Yes.
Hello po. Okay.
Yes.
Certificate of Appreciation is hereby given to Ms. Tina Khoe Ang for imparting her knowledge and expertise during the HRZ, The Power of HR in the Modern Era event organized by the class of HRD 911, the LSUD, given the 17th day of January 2022 via Zoom meetings. Signed by Ms. Lovera Talam, HRZ Co-Project Manager, HR Corps, DLSUD, Ms. Patricia Ann Cirillo, HRZ External Affairs Head, HR Corps, DLSUD, Mr. Mark Philip Duyog, HRZ, Co-Project Manager, HR Corp, CLSUD, and signed by yours truly, Arlen Joyce P. Hernandez, HRZ Project Manager, HR Corp, CLSUD. Once again, thank you so much, Miss Tina.
Thank you as well for the time. I'm very glad to meet all of you kasi, diba, it's very good. Sa akin lang, last words, I hope that everybody still has that time to learn. Kasi totoo lang ha, you guys think that you might be very busy, you guys think that you have a lot of problems, lalo na sa family or sa mga part-time jobs ninyo. But I'm telling you, it gets worse after you graduate. Ulitin ko ha, it really gets worse after you graduate. And now you still have the time for yourself and to enjoy and to follow your interests. But when you start working, you have to make money for your family. You have to support your family. And it's a whole new ballgame, and you won't really have that much time anymore. And the only way to learn for me is when you start working, make sure that you're also learning in the job. Kasi sa totoo lang, if you're working for a Filipino company, sobrang dami ninyong matututunan. There is nothing that the HR, you know, your school's very good, but talaga, if gusto mo talagang matuto ng HR, ang dami ninyong matutunan talaga pag nagtrabaho na kayo. Ibang klase, but you need to be open to learning. All right?
Thank you, Miss Joyce and Ma'am Tina. Ma'am, before we let you go po, may we ask for a picture with you?
Go ahead lang po.
Okay. So to everyone na nasa Zoom, please open your cameras para sa ating photo op with Miss Tina. Ayan.
Yan.
Please send na lang the photo later, ha?
Yes po. So Docu team, please take note. So ayan partner, nakikita mo na ba ang ating mga
Yes, of
HRD
course, partner.
students?
Nakita na naman natin ang mga nagagandahang mga mukha ng ating mga ka-HRD.
Yes, so I think everyone ay ready na. So, Docu team on my cue again. So, smile guys ha. So, 3, 2, 1, smile.
Nag-photo op, no?
Again. So, I think another one pa. Miss Tina, isa pa po. Last na po, ma'am. So, guys, give your best smile. So, another one. 3, 2, 1, smile. Ayan. Thank you, guys. And yan, partner.
Yeah, so thank you once again, Miss Tina, for your insightful talk.
Nakita na naman natin ang naggagandahang faces ng mga future professionals natin, partner.
Tama ka dyan, partner. Faces that very inspired tonight because of the talks na narinig nila mula sa ating mga dear speakers.
Yes, you're right. So, let's keep ourselves excited para sa HRZ.
Ayan guys, please stay tuned as we come back after a performance from a night college student of MEC, Miss Annalyn Olguera. Let's give him a great round.
Maybe he's right. Maybe there's something the matter with me. I just don't see how a girl that makes such wonderful things could be bad. Look at this stuff, isn't it neat? Wouldn't you think my collection's complete? Wouldn't you think I'm the girl who has everything? Look at this robe, brushes and towel. How many wonders can one coven hold? Looking around here, you think, sure, she's got everything. I've got gadgets and gizmos aplenty. I've got what's-its and what's-its galore. You want thingamabob? hopes, I've got 20. But who cares? No big deal. I want more. I wanna be where the people are. I wanna see them dancing, walking around on those, what do you call them? Oh, feet. Like penny things, you don't get too far. Legs are required for jumping, dancing, strolling along down, what's that word again? Street, up where they walk, up where they run, up where they stay all day in the sun, wandering free. Wish I could be part of the world. What would I give if I could leave out of these waters? What would I pay to spend a day warm on the sand? Bet your own land, they understand, but they don't reprimand their daughters. Bright young woman, sick of swimming, ready to stand, ready to know what the people know. Ask them questions and get some answers. What's a fire and why does it, what's the word? Burn. Was it my turn? Wouldn't I love to explore the shore above? Out of the sea, wish I could be part of that
That's a wonderful performance again, partner. Thank you, Miss Annalyn, for showing off and sharing your talent to us for this event.
Tama ka dyan, partner. Contact details na po ni Miss Anna, please.
Ang bilis mo dun, partner, ah. So, as we promised, we will not end this event without presenting the names of those who actively participate during our icebreaker and those who will receive special awards.
Now, partner, let's proceed to the awarding segment. Yan. Natin.
Partner,
So,
ano ba prize natin dito?
Huwag ka maingay, partner, pero as I heard, cash prizes daw.
Malakas naman ang intel mo, partner. Hindi ko alam na cash ang prize dito. Pero alam ko may mga prizes talaga dito. So, ang sabi naman sa akin, partner, eto kasi, may pa-pouch, tapos may face mask, and free fitness session daw. From our generous sponsors to, ah.
Grabe, napapawaw na lang talaga ako. Sobrang big time ng mga sponsors. Grabe yung partner.
Naku, partner, sinasabi ko pa sa'yo, pero, partner, mag-greet na muna tayo. So, merong birthday celebrant today, partner. So, she is from HRD 31. Happy birthday to Ira Santiago.
Birthday, girl. So, belated happy birthday din to Miss Copiela Tana. And also to Arlene Sembrano. Yan.
Ayan.
Ito pa, partner, syempre, advance happy birthday to Romel Canimo, Clark Camul, and Roberto Javier. Ayan, guys.
And ang mga nag-birthday rin ng mga nakaraan ay sina Sembrano Arlene and Talam Lupelia.
Belated happy birthday, guys. So while waiting sa mga nanalo, Shout out muna tayo sa comment section. Punta muna nga tayo, partner, sa comment section. Shout out natin yung mga masisipag na mag-comment. Ayan, shout out daw kay Berto Bartolo.
Ayan.
Ayan. Partner, ikaw ba? May gusto ka bang i-shout out dyan? Baka...
Ayan, nabasa ko yung comment ni Novelia Talang. Sabi niya, thank you guys, mahal ko kayo, Night 11.
Oh, nakaka-touch naman.
Ayan
yan.
pa.
Thank you for
From
that.
Night 11 po ulit, kay Miss Patricia Historillo. Shout out sa mga sponsors and thank you po. Wow, napaka-generous naman kasi ng ating mga sponsors, partner.
Ayan, shout out naman kay Kuya RC, sabi niya shout out daw.
Ayan.
Ito pa
Okay,
partner,
partner, go.
kay Cindy Manlakit. Bini daw ni ma'am. Happy birthday, ma'am.
Happy birthday po.
Yan, partner. Ang dami nagpapa-shoutout. Ang gusto talaga nilang ma-shoutout ng mga magagandang things. Ito pa, partner, sabi ni JB Abinyante, shout out to HRD 4131 and HRN. Salamat po sa pag-attend, guys.
Yes, and nagulat din ako na may umattend na hindi taga HRD. Well, nakita niya siguro yung mga postings natin sa mga My Days, sa mga story natin sa Facebook. Well, na-curious siguro. Kaya nag-direct siya mag-message. And very thankful kami na merong taga-ibang
section, partner. So, ito yung pinaka-gustong-gusto kong basahin, partner. Mula kay Dr. Marian Atirhaha. Sabi niya, job well done. Congrats. Diba, partner?
Thank you, ma'am.
Kaya congrats na tayo ni ma'am. Shout out sa iyo, ma'am.
Ayan, nabasa ko na nga. So, yan. Ayan, marami na rin nag-greet kay ma'am ng happy birthday from Eileen Carrasca, Patricia Historillo, JB Abinyante, and marami pang iba.
At napapapusong react pati si ma'am Mark Philip Gruyog talaga naman.
Yes.
So, partner, ako din, partner. Sobrang na-inlove ako for tonight's webinar.
Ayan.
Yan. Guys, sabi ni Ma'am Marian, sabi niya, thank you. Meron pa siyang emoji dito. Sabi naman ni Ate Christina Agas, galing ng comedy. Talaga naman, guys. Congrats sa inyo.
Yes, kung wala sila. Nako.
Ayan, sabi ni Doy Demihilio, shoutout sa gorgeous host. Thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
Kota-kota na tayo, guys. Kanina pa yan, ha?
Well, nahawa na naman po ako sa host natin na hindi ko alam kung bakit palaging fresh. At hindi naman niya sinasabi yung sekreto niya. Mula umpisa hanggang matapos fresh sana all. Oh, sabi daw ni Miss Eileen Carrasca. Oh.
Mamaya ko na lang sasabihin sa inyo kung anong sekreto ko, guys, okay? So, ito pa, sabi ni Girlie Joy Espinosa, happy birthday, ma'am. More birthdays to come daw po.
Oh.
At ito, partner, sabi ni Dan Mercado, hindi lang daw ako fresh. Siyempre, fresh ka din naman, Marga. How
Ay, nakaka-fresh ba yung puyat, partner?
Yan. Gusto ko lang uling mag-special thank you ulit sa PM So
yes.
sa Zoom account na kanilang talaga namang pinagkatiwala sa atin para maging successful itong event na to. Partner, sabi ni Wilma Valderobar, si Dennis Laura naman si Aiza. Ano ka man naman, Wilma? Maliit na bagay.
Kinilig ka naman, partner. Kinilig ka naman.
Siyempre naman, partner. Sino kaya ang ka-partner ni Laura? Ni Dennis Laura.
Hindi ako updated, partner. Halatang hindi ako nanonood ng TV. Nang palabas sa TV. Oh
Tapos
my
sabi ni
God.
Wilma, partner, kakawig mo daw si Anne Marie. Sample nga dyan.
Lahat na lang. Oh.
Parang parinig na ng 2002.
Mukhang partner, nahihirapan ata sila.
Yan,
Tingnan
sample
ang mga
daw.
winners.
Partner, papayag ka ba ng ganyan-ganyan lang? Sample daw, host.
Sample ng ano?
Ikaw na lang kumanta sa sayo na lang ako dito.
Ay, hindi ako marunong kumanta. Baka biglang mawalan tayo ng ano dito. Internet connection. Hindi pwede. Hindi pwede.
Kahit isang
partner.
linya lang, partner, 2002 lang. Ayun lang.
Ay, hindi ko kabisado, partner.
Sabihin mo lang 2002. Ayan, sabi naman ni Jimmy Boy Diaz, #HR Power, #HR 2022. So, ayan, partner, mukhang handa na ang mga pangalan ng mga nanalo for tonight. Excited na ako. Ikaw ba, partner?
Yes, excited na ako. Malay natin. Ang ating mga names ay maisama. Kung pwede ba? Ayan, partner. So, early birds, partner, maaga masyado tong mga to at maaga nag-join ng ating Zoom today.
Yes, partner, mukha ha. Congrats sa inyo guys. May pa-early birds pa lang event natin, partner. Sa susunod, agahin pa natin para tayong dalawa na yung manalo.
So, ayan.
Ayan, next slide.
Oh, may next slide pa pala. Sorry. Sige, go partner.
Next slide. Game winners naman tayo. 3 names who got the most number of scores sa ating icebreaker. Sobrang active na mga winners natin, partner, sa comment section kanina. Grabe. Nagpapaunahan talaga sila. Sabi pa nga ng isa, anong internet nyo?
Nga naman, partner. Ikaw naman kasi mabilis ka na nga mag-type. Eh, syempre, dapat mabilis din ma-send yung answer. Pabilisan kasi talaga sila, partner. Di ko na nga mahabol din yung mga comments nila kung sino ba ang nauna. Nako, partner. So, congrats, guys. I think, partner, may another slide pa tayo. For active reactors. Ito naman yung mga persons na active sa pag-react sa ating mga postings sa GC and some of the names na hindi nagmi-miss ng pag-react sa ating mga pubs.
Wow naman, partner. Congrats, guys. Sana makaharapin sa amin ni partner yung mga prizes nyo, no?
Yes, congratulations again to everyone. And now, before we reach the end of this event, may we have Miss Lobelia Talam, HRZ Co-Project Manager, to give us closing remarks.
First and foremost, I would like to express my deepest gratitude and appreciation to our speakers, Ms. Tessa Mercado and to Ms. Tina Khoe Ang, for their valuable contribution to our online webinar held today entitled HRZ, the Power of HR in the Modern Era. Our class Night 11 organized this webinar not just in compliance to our course talent and development, but aims on helping to educate those who are taking HR-related courses on what would be the possible skills an HR practitioner must have in order to blend in the fast-growing era where technology is gradually dominating the workforce. I hope you learned a lot on this webinar held today as we tackled about some changes in the HR world as we are embracing in the new normal. Before ending my closing remarks, we would like to convey a special thanks again to our speakers, to HRD31, to Miss Maren Atinaha for allowing us to have this kind of big opportunity to hold the webinar. All of you had been extremely cooperative in staying with us beyond the time. In behalf of Night 11, our deepest gratitude goes to all who attended the webinar and helped to make it successful. God bless everyone. Animo Lasal.
Ayan, thank you, Miss Taram, for those closing remarks. It is truly our part to embrace and to have all the messages that we've heard from tonight's webinar. I hope everyone learns and applies all those things. Again, we would like to thank our generous sponsors, Kainan ni Consi Dasmariñas, Class MCC Night Students, Kapitan Rodel C. Mercado, Honorable Paul Jan Lara, Miss Anna Marie C. Makainan, Coach Ryan Stone Pacundo Sportswear, and also Pound for Pound Fitness Dasmariñas by Boss Marlon Osan.
Before you guys exit the webinar, please answer the evaluation that is on the comment section of this Zoom meeting to get your e-certificates or scan the QR code that is on your screen.
Yeah, being part of this webinar is a history as this class first time to handle this kind of event. The success of this event is because of you guys, especially to our invited participants from HRD31 and to lovely Professor Miss Maria.
Thank you all for attending. We hope you have learned and enjoyed this activity made by our class, Night 11. On behalf of all of us, we are very thankful for this opportunity given to us to motivate and encourage the HRZ generation to strive hard to be successful HR people in our community.
Once again, guys, I am Isaac Candelaria and one of your HRZ hosts.
And I am Maria Margarita Jimenez signing off. Thank you for joining us.